This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned.
Looking back on a past where we still had a chance. We were pawns in a game that we could not win.
What?
God damn. Okay, there we go. I fixed my microphone. I forgot.
No, it's
that
not. It's not fixed.
What happened?
What happened? Can you?
Okay,
hear
there we go. No,
Yeah.
it's good.
me? Okay.
like-
I did
I
not
can
hear
hear
the.
it.
Hear what?
So,
Hear what?
yeah.
Brian sounded like a sound marine, for one, like loud and angry.
That is some
like
deep lore 40k.
Man.
it
So
was awful.
it actually stands to tradition that I would start today with technological leprosy, and not have things work. But they work now, and it is Sunday, and it is time for Team X, an official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated. Thank you so much for joining us. That was our game. We'll see you guys next week. No.
After a month,
Oh,
Bye.
and
I forgot. We have to actually play the game before we get to that part.
Can we play that?
But we just did. We played.
It was amazing.
It's been 3 hours.
It's
What are you talking
amazing.
about?
don't fuck with my sense of time. Like that,
No.
please.
So,
It's already hard enough.
thank you very much. We are back from our early fall hiatus. Why not? It's October. It's almost time for sweeps. So why don't we play some brand new Dungeons and Dragons, and we can add to our current library of approximately 36 hours worth of gaming that we've done this season. I am Saint Brian, your dungeon master for this evening. But before we move on with the rest of this, we have to do our normal traditional ritual of introducing the players. Now, as you can see, we are down one clues, one Dren, my gem weaver. She will be back next week, we think. She is, unless she gets lost in the Pacific Northwest, which is entirely
Doubtful.
possible. Listen,
You have to consider that she is Fae, and that is impossible.
That's a good point.
she could get lost. I'm not concerned about her survival there. It's possible she could get sucked into some kind of pocket dimension. But she
It is
would
the
survive.
Pacific Northwest.
It tracks. It tracks.
But I have zero worry whatsoever about Clues' ability to survive in the wilderness. So, aside from that, that's where we would usually start in Quadrant 4. We shall now proceed to Quadrant 1 with the introductions.
Hello, I'm Viking Goat. I play Thunuk, Frugal Nature Cleric. Also, highly dangerous, but also kind of a sweetheart.
Yeah, he is a cinnamon roll railgun.
Yeah, I looked up what cinnamon roll meant, and you know what? Yeah, he is.
It's truth.
Can't be denied.
I am Blind Cleric. I am playing human fighter Hugon Valander, who is a belligerent, mean-spirited drunkard, and also a fighter.
More of a hobby, really. And moving along.
And I am Roz, and I am playing Eno, the Tiefling Bard.
And composer of epic songs.
This is true.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And like good songs, not like Hellraiser songs, but like good songs. Songs that are not like the sound of razors through flesh.
Ugh. No, that's
Thing?
that's a very specific subgenre of black metal, and I don't need to hear it.
It's a secret song at the heart of the universe.
It is. So before we get into the rest of this strem, the rest of this game, if you happen to be joining us in the chat, and you would like to become the stream boss, you will have to destroy the current stream boss. Let's see who the stream boss is now. This is just a test. JD Lady is our current stream boss, but she has only got about 25% of her energy left. Or no, half. She's half. 5,000 out of 10,000 hit points.
Oh.
You can overcome the current stream boss by doing likes, or doing following us, by subscribing. That's almost like an insta kill, right?
Pretty much.
Bits, things like that will all deplete the energy of the current stream boss, and when you defeat the stream boss and you become one, it refills the specials for our players here, and it requires me to use one of my dice of darkness, one of my dark inspiration.
Of which you have one left.
I have one left. But every time that our players use one of their specials, I get one back. So, yeah. Fun times. Anyway, when we last left our protagonists, we've adjusted the nomenclature.
Good. Is correct.
They had not only successfully defended Pinedale from an encroaching horde of gnolls led by, for all intents and purposes, what looked like Hugon Valander's estranged grandfather. And so
it needs to be noted that like he should very much be dead.
Mhm.
Like, and he's not dead, or he could be dead, but he's moving around too much. It's too much.
Too much. There is too much Marcus Valander for this particular space and time. They had successfully defended the encroaching horde. It did involve destroying the bridge that was crossing over into Pinedale. And afterwards, there was, of course, a celebration, because you celebrate when you survive.
When you survive.
When you survive an attempted scouring of your town. And there was a barbecue competition. And
we won, didn't we?
I think you did.
I think we did.
Yes, it was. I think
We
you know
never
what?
got that far.
I think we won.
Oh, you're right. I misremembered.
The winning was the friends we met along the way.
No, it's actual
No, it
victory.
wasn't. No, we won.
No, it was the winning.
It was the winning part. That's the winning part.
But let's face it, if you've ever been to a barbecue competition where you're allowed to sample the food, everyone wins. But
Unless the barbecue is bad.
Well, it's hard to do. It's
I've had some bad barbecue. A lot of bad barbecue.
What passes for barbecue in many people's minds is awful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plant that flag.
Okay.
I'm saying that.
Discussion for another time. I think we
Perhaps.
should come back to this. I think this deserves some further exploration, but that is not why we're here today. Today is to play some Dungeons and Dragons. And Thunuk,
Oh.
you've been having a reoccurring
Yes.
dream.
Yes.
Not an entirely unpleasant one. Not that kind of dream.
Oh.
It's just Thunuk rolling around in food.
Yes. Yes, paradise. Yes.
It's all for me.
Just rub it all over you. Yes.
Nothing
Hedonism.
breaks. Everything's big enough.
Behold my sins of gluttony.
Doors are his height.
Chairs are the right size. The clothes
Everything.
fit.
Wow.
And you never put on weight. No matter how much you stuff your face.
Yeah, that does sound like Nirvana.
But that is not the dream. That is, I'm sure, a dream that Thunuk has had at some point. That might be a recurring dream, but that is not the recurring dream that we are talking about right here. Thunuk,
Okay.
you've been having a recurring dream of sitting in somewhere, it appears to be deep, deep, deep within the Chandlewood. And there is a great tree on the other side of what looks to be, you can't tell if it's a pond or a lake, because in your dream it's like the perspective is off. Where 1 second you look at it and it looks like a lake, but then it might be only a pond, and you're not sure if the tree is actually just a very large oak tree, or is it more like closer to the size of the tree, of the life tree, the tree of life that you guys had encountered in the Shadowfell.
Mm-hmm.
So there is sort of that changing perspective element where but it's never really bothered you. It's just that you've never bothered to really look too deeply at it, and it's been very peaceful. But it does feel as though there is something dark just out of the corner of your eye. And every time that you go to like look at it, it's just not there. It's only like just in the peripheral. And it never approaches, and you don't have a sense of foreboding or anything, but it's just something you know that it is not good. On the Thunuk scale of things, it is not good.
Is it not good as in jerk? Good as in it is potential food, or not good as in I am potential food? Oh,
It's an exceptionally binary view.
So,
Or
Am
is
I
it-
the food, or is it the food?
or
Well,
or is it that very slim gray area in between?
give me a wisdom roll, a wisdom check. Gotta get some insight here.
It's been a bit since I've had to roll him. 17.
17. Okay. So what you get is that jerk definitely registers.
Okay.
But there is, in the Venn diagram of the things that this thing might be,
Food is not one of those.
it is not food.
Mm.
You might be food, but not in the traditional sense.
Hmm.
There is a sense of consumption. And and every now and again you'll see, like one time when you dreamed, you saw the giant otter, kind of jumping around in the water, playing around. One time you were sitting there, and one time when you were dreaming, you were sitting there, and again, it's a very calm and peaceful and tranquil scene, with the exception of this one little kind of. It's almost like a gnat flying just out of. It's there.
Oh, it's like that mosquito got into your bedroom when you're sleeping.
Yeah, but every time you look at it, you can't see it. It's just moving. Like right when you think you've zeroed in, it's already moved on to someplace else. It starts buzzing someplace else. So it's distracting. It's annoying. But one time, one time you're having this dream, and you were just watching the otter play around. One time it was a hummingbird flitting around from flower to flower. One time you saw a myconid scrambling among the different fallen logs, and it looked like he was planting spores or something.
Mm-hmm.
They shake off a little bit. One time there was you were sitting next to a white dire wolf. You did not feel threatened. You were just sitting there,
Okay.
chilling.
I mean, it's a Clydesdale-sized puppy. How could you be threatened?
Well, just large enough for Thunuk.
It's large enough to wrestle with. It's the best part.
But this time, during the course of your dream, there is something different this time. This time you're sitting on this log and you're seeing the scene in front of you, and you're still the kind of flitting little mosquito thing, jerk, is it food or not thing floating around. But there's also an old man sitting next to you.
Is this the old man from the visions where we? Wait, I don't remember if Thunuk saw this guy or not. In the dreams where the future dreams, where
Yes,
this is the same old man.
it is the same old man. And he's sitting there and he's feeding some birds. And the dire wolf is sitting next to him, and he reaches up and he scritches the dire wolf behind the ear. And the dire wolf does the whole like head tilt, lean in.
That's that spot right there.
Right when you get the knuckle right in the ear. When you get the knuckle right, if you ever done this to a dog and you get your knuckle and just lightly, you're not like hurting the dog, but you're just right in there, right in the ear canal, and they just and
It's the human equivalent of getting the Q-tip in just the right spot.
Yes, that is.
They're like,
Curious.
that is a scratch. I never knew it required itching, scratching or
Yep.
itching. Yeah.
An itch that you didn't know needed to be scratched, but once you did it, you can never unknow how remarkable that can be. But he's sitting there, and that you also see the hummingbird flitting around, and you see the otter doing otter things in the water, rolling around, doing cute little human things with his hands, playing with rocks, doing things, and you see the myconid doing his thing, kind of just the myconid's loving life as myconids do.
Mm-hmm.
And he sits, and the old man is sitting next to you, and he says, "This is nice, isn't it?"
Usually. I don't normally share it, but it's also nice to share things.
It is nice to share things, isn't it?
I don't remember. Hi,
Hi.
I'm Thunuk. I don't remember if I introduced myself last time.
It is very nice to meet you, Thunuk.
It's nice to meet you too.
I feel as though I already know you, though.
Well, we met that one time.
Mm-hmm.
The town was on fire, and I think you were talking to birds, maybe.
Oh, I like having my friends with me.
Oh yeah. It's a nice thing to do.
It is a nice thing to do. But you guys did a very good job. You did very good.
We did.
You did very good.
Which, with what now?
Well, you've given people a nice place to live that they can keep.
Oh. You mean with the gnolls and the nasty things and
Hard creatures, those.
yeah, and the guys in the armor. Those they're weird.
What do you think about them?
The ones in the armor?
Yes, the ones in the armor.
Well, they're rude and they're mean. Although they seem to try to be not rude. And they want to kill people, which is not nice. All around, I don't like them. They seem like jerks.
Mm.
I know Hugon hates one of them pretty hard. Yeah. Although he said it's his grandfather. So, and I guess they must have had a falling out. I don't know.
I could see that. I could see how he would come to that conclusion. Where do you think they went?
Oh, it's been a month. What I don't recall what Thunuk saw of them leaving.
You
Was
saw.
Thunuk even conscious? Because I remember you went down, didn't you?
Yeah, he was knocked out for a bit there.
I'm trying to remember. Was Thunuk conscious?
I healed him.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right. Yeah, so you would have seen Sir Silverton
Pounce on them.
pounce on them and warp them into wherever.
Yeah. I don't know. I maybe that metal cat ate them.
Hmm.
I mean, we never saw the metal cat again.
This is true.
Maybe they ate it. But then a big metal cat like that, it probably wouldn't fight.
That would be a big meal. Yeah, they're.
Oh.
It was good that you made friends, wasn't it?
It's always nice to make friends.
It's always good to make friends. It's good when you do things together.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. That's a nice thing.
Does this bug annoy you?
I can never really see it. It's always just out of my eyesight.
Yeah.
Can you tell what it is?
I know it can. If it's not dealt with, it can only get worse. You know
It's
how
like
that is.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like fleas and
Yeah,
stuff
you
like
gotta-
that.
You gotta make sure that you have to make sure you get to the root cause of it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It does you no good to, if you have an infestation of ants, and I know ants are good, but you don't want them everywhere.
Well, I mean, no, you can have a nice little chat with them, and they normally just stick to their own
I'll
thing.
give you a better example.
Okay,
Wasps.
wasps are kind of jerky.
What happens if you don't get rid of the hive itself? You just get rid of a few of them.
They come back and they're pissed off at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember this one time I smashed a couple of them because they're going after some stuff and that they weren't supposed to be getting into, and the entire hive got pissed off and came after me. They've said some really nasty things, but I mean they're kind of legitimately angry. I mean, I did squish a couple of them. The stings kind of hurt like crazy.
Yeah,
that
they
lasted
do,
a while.
But yeah, they're kind. I mean, they serve a purpose, but they're jerks.
Yeah.
That's why we have the spiders that do the thing with the wasp. You know, when they steer the wasp around and they.
I don't know which spiders you're talking about. The ones I know are usually afraid of wasps
Oh.
because they get eaten by the wasp.
Hmm. Different spider.
Okay.
But. So if you don't get rid of the whole hive, if you don't get rid of the queen,
They have a queen.
Sometimes.
There's an armor queen,
Mm.
or kobold queen. No, kobolds. Not. We're talking
No,
about
no, no, no. I'm talking about the wasps.
the wasps. Oh,
If
okay.
you don't get rid of it, if you don't get rid of the queen, what happens?
More wasps.
More wasps.
Mhm.
So it's good to get rid of the queen, right?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Is this a wasp? Is this like a wasp?
It's like a wasp.
Ooh.
It's like a wasp. But I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Your friends here, I like your friends. They're very nice here.
They're nice. Yes, I like them a lot.
They don't seem like they spend a lot of time together, though.
Well, I mean, technically, we did just meet like a few weeks ago. I mean, for our time, time's been weird around us.
Mm-hmm. No, but I mean,
There's-
like, your friends right here. I mean, I haven't seen the otter talk to the little mushroom fellow over there, and he seems to be avoiding the hummingbird, and the hummingbird and your friend the wolf here. They don't seem to want to. Why don't they like to talk to each other? They have a lot in common.
Never noticed that. They usually talk to me, but I've never noticed them not talk to each other. Hey, why don't you guys talk to each other?
You can't just ask people that.
And the wolf
The
turns...
hummingbird is a prick. Hey, shut up!
The otter slept with my wife. The myconid kind of like comes hopping over, very Smurf-like.
Mm-hmm.
Plops down next to you, and he says, "Talk to who else?"
Well, otter and the hummingbird and the wolf right here. This wolf.
He says, "There's no one else here." And the wolf is still there, and the old man is scratching his ear, and the otter is still doing otter things, and the hummingbird is still humming around. And he says,
And Thunuk starts poking the wolf. This wolf right here. I'm poking him.
"You sure?"
He starts poking the mic, and I'm poking you both. Can't you see each other?
That tickles.
Except it's like a spores.
Yes,
Like-
the spores
like
kind
a
of...
pill, it's like a Pillsbury Doughboy, but made of like horrific spores.
The spores come shaking out. That tickles.
Here, poke here. Poke there, where I poke, right here.
And it's like, you can see, like, it stops. It's like the same poles of a magnet. Like, he can only get so close. It's like, there's nothing there.
That's weird. But
Who
who else?
The old man says to you, goes, "I don't think they know about each other. You can see him."
Yeah. They can see me. Can they see you? Can you see this guy here?
Yeah.
But you can't see the wolf, the otter, or the hummingbird.
Who?
The wolf, right here,
No.
or that
He
otter.
turns to the
over-
old man. Is he okay? Yeah, yes, he's fine. He's fine. He says, maybe you need to introduce them to each other."
Oh, that is a good point.
But like, for real, not here. I mean, here's just,
This isn't real.
well, that's a whole other discussion. We could spend a lifetime discussing what is real.
This is not the kind of conversation you want to have with Thunuk.
I don't know, man. You can get a pretty deep conversation with Thunuk about this.
Perhaps, but like,
It's not a conversation Hugon wants to have with.
no, certainly not. You're correct.
He says, "Well, just my 2 cents. You should probably wake up now."
I thought I.
Also, you're on fire, so you really need to wake up.
I guess Thunuk wakes up and he's like,
And
huh?
as you're waking up, you just sort of hear this echo, "Mind the wasps." And you wake
Eh.
up in your bed.
So this thing says, "What?" Ah!
Ah! Jumps out the
And-
window.
And you find yourself you find yourself safely in your own bed in the Silvered Harrier at Pinedale, a place that you've come to recognize as a home. It's been a few months since the Battle of Pinedale. It's been relatively quiet. It's been a relatively quiet time in Pinedale since the battle. Fall is just starting to show itself in the forest. You're starting to notice there's a little bit more of a nip in the air than there was over the summer. The nights get a little bit cooler, quite pleasantly so. You're starting to see the leaves. All of you are starting to see the trees starting to make the small transitions that you see them make. Thunuk, you probably see it in greater detail. You probably notice more things. Like you've noticed, like the squirrels and chipmunks starting to do a little bit more of their rooting around, starting to get their winter stores together. You're starting to, because this is something that you're like very keenly in tune with. You know that there's like other things, just like most people just associate, the trees and like the birds flying south, but you notice a little bit that fall is really starting to.
He sees everything else like everyone else in town would see something happening in the town square. He's basically seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's quite a pleasant experience. I would imagine that maybe there's even a little part of Hugon that would appreciate the turning of the leaves. A quiet moment, a rare quiet moment, being able to see from the ramparts, and you see the as the trees begin to turn their brilliant colors over the landscape.
Like sort of like watching like a beautiful and yet poisonous plant change colors. Like, oh, that's lovely. Still don't want to go out there.
But I can appreciate it from this far away.
I can appreciate it from behind the safety of these walls.
I can watch sharks on television, and it's fine.
Yeah.
There's
television between me and the shark, so it's cool.
Yeah. And same deal. You're noticing a little bit more of a nip. You might actually notice a little bit more of a nip in the air, just because I would imagine that Eno's normal body temperature might be slightly higher. Or would it be that he's just fine with the winter because I'm warm all the time?
Yeah, I don't think it really phases him too much. Like, yeah, I don't think the cold weather phases him too much. I mean, he gets affected by it some. Like he'll kind of wear a little jacket maybe.
Well, very fashionable, of course.
Yeah.
So over the course of say the 2.5 months since the Battle of Pinedale, what are some of the more, I don't want to say mundane, but some of the little things? So obviously there's been the overseeing of the bridge going back over the river.
Sponsored by Acquisitions Incorporated.
Of course, absolutely.
So a little plaque on both ends.
Oh, absolutely. Like that's like task one. I'm like, oh, your bridge fell down. We can fix that.
But it's
you knocked down our bridge. No, beavers knocked down your bridge.
Is a town like in some towns in our reality where you come in, it's like, welcome to blah 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 town. There's little shields from like the Lions Club and the Kiwanis Club and the local whatever Veterans Association, like on that sign. Is that what's happening? But now that there's an AI sign.
This project is brought to you by Acquisitions Incorporated because it's fenced off.
Like in proud association with the town of Pinedale. It's not the other way around. Acquisitions Incorporated is bankrolling this bridge in association with the government of Pinedale.
Somewhere there's probably in the fine print it says that Ac Inc. actually owns the bridge,
which means we can tax it.
Or you can sell sponsorship on it. So you know how like you go down and there's like the plaques where you know if you go to like a stadium or something, how they sell the bricks for like in loving memory of whoever, or a gift of the Gervais family. It's the Dufains. You could have all of that. So there actually might be more. There might be more money to be made.
Nothing really galvanizes a populace than making them feel involved.
Yeah, but what are some of the... So, just over the course of the intervening months, Hugon, you were finally able to get the charter, the change to the charters made. So, Hugon has to sit every now and again on some of the council meetings.
Yay, I'm a member of the local government.
It's a rare person who cheers that.
Oh, well, it's entirely because I'm going to exploit it. I mean, it's not because I want to sit in on these meetings. It's because I want to earn.
What was the name of the crew that we had of the trainees?
My name for them?
Mm-hmm.
Outcome Management and Solutions.
Outcome Management and Solutions. So you have approximately you have a dozen.
Okay.
That were able to make it through your version of Buds.
Okay, good. I was hoping for less than 20. I really was.
You've got 12, and you've been able to start. They've been able to start working their way back out to El Boulder in an attempt to restore travel.
One of the things that Hugon would have done would have been create a sort of graduation ceremony, if you would, where instead of like receiving like a badge or ribbon or anything like that, they receive an official certificate of graduation, like a literal diploma, with, you know, it has Acq Inc. signage and everything on it, and it's like, you know, proud intern of, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe create some corporate buzzword of like, you know, personal excellence track graduate or something like that.
I like that. The personal excellence track. Personal excellence track 1.
Track 1. Graduate. Boom.
Because now you can qualify for all. Now you can qualify for all the track 2 programs.
This is track 2. And track 1 has a ton of responsibilities, but we'll get into that later.
But you have to get through the first one, and then you have branching tracks.
Listen, the system is immaculate, as it is confusing.
There's a skill tree involved.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's a tech tree. You need more crystals. The other thing is that he commissions, like at personal expense, a dozen finely crafted wooden masks that aren't as like, they're not particularly, they don't really have features. They've got, you know, they're beautiful, you know, hand carved, beautifully stained, no filigree, nothing like that. And it's just the eye holes, sort of matching contour to each face on the inside, and then like maybe 6 holes drilled through for respiration purposes. And that is the actual physical symbol of your graduation and being a part of outcome management and solutions, are these wooden masks. And I haven't decided what kind of wood. I was thinking like a dark hardwood, probably like a walnut or a mahogany.
I have a suggestion on this.
Okay.
As a part of their final test, they have to go spend one night in the Chandlewood. And during the course of that, they have to bring the wood back for their mask. And the idea is that it's supposed to be a night of personal reflection, where they go out, you're surviving.
And also trying not to die.
And trying not to die, because there's lots of things to kill you, because Thunuk turned on the forest before the battle.
He did.
And he may have forgotten to turn it off or not known how to.
Hey, can you guys stop? No,
but
okay,
but it just means that there's now a new defensive perimeter around Pinedale, that by each day comes a little bit more deadly, because the trees continue to grow and they continue to do the things, and so they have to go beyond the perimeter.
He would note that they're to grab dead wood only.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I like that.
Don't grab living wood, because you'll get eaten by the trees, for one.
Yeah.
And 2, we would rather not piss off this forest. We're already kind of a problem for it. And 3, it's just, you know, there's an aesthetic.
Well, but the idea is that during the course of that night of reflection, the wood for their mask, the material for their mask, will present itself in some way, shape, or form. And it's basically just like, oh, wait, I finally found this nice log. This is the one that I want. So it could be multiple different kinds of wood. It could be, it just happened to be that's what whatever they came back with, along with the stories. And I have to imagine the stories might be like a little Valhalla type situation. I mean, they come back, there's a celebration.
God, I hope not. That would be insufferable.
Just recounting.
Hugon, like, oh, this one time, like, man, shut up.
No. It's not remember when. It's basically the night they come back or the day they come back. They come trudging back, covered in like mud.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe even gore, depending on what they ran into out there. Because there's
missing a finger.
Yeah, there's new scars, and there's actually sort of like a point of pride, like coming back with a new scar, right? But then afterwards, it's like you can all sit down at a table together, relatively equals. I'm not saying completely equals, but and then it's just you recount the story of what was what you went through out there in your night alone, because you're sent out, no weapons. You're given like a pocket knife. You have to MacGyver your.
Listen, pocket knife and like that's it.
Yeah,
go.
Exactly.
So one last little thing, the Personal Excellence Track 1 graduates. Is that what we called it?
Personal Excellence Track 1.
Okay. They are now in part responsible for training the next wave.
Okay. And you've gotten some more recruits. And as trade has slowly, very, very slowly started to trickle back into Pinedale, word has reached, and you know that there's people that the word is getting out about this training program. So you've gotten a few more. You've gotten a few that maybe you decided that they washed out, but they could try starting over again. They made it close to the end. Select few. Tadell Swift has been progressing very, very well in her
Did
training.
she graduate?
Yes. I think she did.
Not surprising.
Because she came back. She also spent some of her time with them at the Shadow Monastery, and she picked up some new tricks there as well. So, Eno, what would you have done in the intervening months? What are some of the projects that Eno would have liked to have tackled?
So the main project that Eno has been working on, sort of building up to it, he's been working with John and to learn leatherworking and really trying to hone the skill of making a set of armor. He had previously bought sheets of metal from the MTS shop, so he's been going to the local blacksmith and getting it cut into studs, and that took some time because he didn't want to really burden the blacksmith, so he was like just get to it when you can. It's not a priority. So the blacksmith eventually did it, and he picked the studs up, and he went back to John. He's like, okay, I've got this leatherworking kit, and John showed him, okay, well, this is how you cut the leather. You want to cut it this way. You don't want to get jagged edges on it, etc. So the last couple weeks, he's really like, that's been his main focus is working on this set of armor. And I would imagine he's also had to go back to the MTS shop a few times to like get, little odds and ends and maybe like a tool that he didn't have. And so I imagine that he's also started playing, like every time he goes in there, he's playing like impromptu concerts for whoever happens to be in there, and like to try and get a discount off of whatever he's buying.
Amazing.
So at this point, I would imagine that this armor set is pretty much done, because if you sort of look at how long it takes to make something in D&D, I would think that this set of armor would be pretty much done.
Absolutely. So what would we do? Because we want to see how good this turns out. I'm trying to think. This would be what kind of role would this be? I'm trying to think of the skill that you would put to this.
I don't. That's a good question.
So I mean, because it wouldn't be performance, but it's somewhere in the. You're using your creativity, but also dexterity.
Yeah. I mean, the tools there's a proficiency bonus for having the tool and knowing how to use the tool. It's like +2 or something.
+2 to what though would be?
They took craft and professional. I forgot. So there's not really a good way to.
Yeah, I don't really know what
adjudicate this.
I feel like it would be a dex thing, because like a basic dex check, because you're doing manual fine labor.
Yeah. I think that would be fine, and I think it would be you're being assisted. You're being assisted with this. You're not just like
Yeah.
yeah.
I wasn't doing it on my own for sure. John was helping me with it.
So yeah, give me let's do a dex with proficiency, and I'll even give you advantage on that just because.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I want to, and I'm the dungeon master, and I can.
Oh, that's all right. That's pretty good right there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's gonna be a 24.
20. Oh, wow.
Altogether.
24. Okay, and this is gonna be studded leather armor.
Studded leather armor.
Okay. So that gives you a very nicely wrought piece of studded leather armor. So that's going to give you an AC 12 plus your dex modifier.
Okay, so that's for me.
Oh. You just were making it.
I was making it for somebody else, yeah. So now that the piece is done, he's going to try and break into Drenmai's workshop.
Okay. We're going to come back to that. Actually, no. Okay. So, we're going to deal with that.
We're going to do it right now.
We're going to deal with that right now. Never mind. You're right. We are dealing with that right now because...
Okay.
Yeah. So... Oh, shoot. Hang on.
What?
I hit the wrong button. Okay. Sorry. I made us all disappear really quick. I can't do that.
Do that.
I mean,
It's
I'm
bad.
here. I don't know.
No, I saw it. Never mind. Anyway, okay, so this actually happens to be a fortuitous morning for you to do this.
Okay.
For when you awoke in the morning, and all of you probably saw this at one point or another, when you came down into the common room of the Silvered Harrier, at whatever time you happen to do that for your morning, there was a note there on the table. And the note was from Drenmai, and it said, had to go get parts for Razi. Hang on, I'm gonna tell you exactly where she went. Give me 1 second here. I should have written this down because, it's not like I knew that we were playing Dungeons and Dragons today or anything. Where is it? Oh, there we go. It says, went to Deepwing Mountains, back soon. Love, Dren. The note is being held in place with a, one of the large jelly donuts that she so enjoys. But there is a large bite out of it. And there's crumbs leading from the table to the door. And the jelly is starting to seep onto the piece of paper.
Okay. Do I find that note?
You can all see that note.
Oh, everybody's down there now looking at it?
Well, I think Hugon is usually one of the first. Hugon and Thunuk are usually... I'm trying to remember all the morning routines. I know Hugon's pretty much up at sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, they would have seen it before.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a public employee now. He has to kind of...
There's things to do. Papers to
business.
sign.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy must be served.
Yeah, and ways to self-enrich.
And Thunuk is, of course, checking after his miniature hospitals and clinics before sunrise and after sunrise.
Hugon does a little fist pump, like, yeah, it's going to be a quiet week.
So you can see that Dren is not at home.
Cool. So I get down and I see that note and the donut and everything, and I'm like, oh wow, that's gonna be a little stale when she gets back. But I think he would go back up to his room and get the armor and put it in his bag. Like he would start preparing for, like, all right, I'm gonna sneak it in to her workshop. And because she's in there all the time, so that's like she would go and see it. For some like I don't know, he doesn't want to just give it to her. He doesn't want to just hand it to her. He just wants to have it show up. You know what I mean? That's just how he's gonna play it. So he puts it in his bag, and he makes his way downstairs, and then he tries to remember where her workshop is because he's only really been there once, right? He was there when the barbecue thing wasn't that in her workshop. So I guess he would know where it is.
Yeah, it's next door to the Silvered Harrier. It's
okay.
Not hard to find. Yeah.
So I would probably try and make my way out of the establishment. I would probably use invisibility. I would probably go invisible. So like as I'm like right before I open the door, I sort of like look around. So I'm gonna do like a perception check to see if anybody's looking at me right now.
Okay.
I can tell. Oh, that sucks. Okay, that's like a 4 or something.
You're pretty sure no one's looking at you.
Yeah, and so I just go invisible.
But the camera in this is, you know how like they sometimes do that camera where it's tracking to the one side following the person, but sometimes it like passes through a wall as they go from like one room to another. You know, because in Hollywood magic, there's actually not a wall there. And I imagine it's this thing is like Eno like is visible, and as he hits the threshold, that's when he casts invisibility. So it's like as he comes around to the other side of the door, that's when he's invisible.
So you just see the door open, and then it's like it just opens, and then it closes. And then I'm making my way across to her workshop. And so I get to the door, and what am I seeing at the door? Like what kind of? I'm assuming it's been repaired.
Yes, it has since been repaired. Thick wood. Oh Jesus. Thick wood planks make up this door. It's got metal bands around it. Very sturdy. Probably sturdier than the last one. You know, it's new, you know, iron strapped hinges on there. It's got Dren my shop name basically, you know, carved into the door. And this one, I think this time, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. The door might have been widened. She might have figured out that while we're repairing the door, let's make it bigger so I can get bigger things in and out of here.
Right.
So yeah, it's now a wider door than it was before.
Okay.
But it is locked.
All right. So he sort of tries the knob gently. He sees that it's definitely locked, and
give me a dexterity check.
Oh, a dexterity check on. Okay.
Give me a dex check.
Oh, come on. 9. Sucks. I'm rolling shitty right now.
All right. Something sprays on your hand when you try to open a door.
It's Black Lotus contact poison.
Can I tell what it is?
How would you like to determine what this is? It's liquid and it's kind of sticky.
I want to do an Arcana check.
Okay.
On it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I'm actually not too bad at that. That's 16.
There's
Arcana.
nothing magical about it that you.
All right, so I'm gonna do a medicine check to make sure I'm not like about to get hurt.
You are starting to feel a little bit of a burn, like in the open.
It's starting
cuts,
to burn,
and like any of the open cuts that you had on your hand from all the leather work that you've been doing. You're feeling a little bit of a burning sensation.
And so you don't like you just if anybody's around, they just hear for fuck's sake.
And having been next to Dren my Dreamweaver's shop, they're like, well, clearly it's haunted. They just go about their day.
So I think at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna fucking do this, and he's like saying all this underneath his breath too. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get in there, fucking do this, and get out. and he cast Dimension Door to try and.
Okay, so you don't need to do that. That's not concentration.
Dimension Door.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. Here's how this works.
Please enlighten me.
So invisibility is concentration, but as soon as I cast this spell, I won't be invisible, but I am going to be teleporting myself from my current location to any other spot within range. I arrive exactly the spot desired. It can be a place I can see, or I can visualize, or one I can describe by stating distance and direction, such as 200 feet straight downward or upward.
All right, so the invisibility would drop, but didn't you immediately your dimension door would immediately take you into the next?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do that. You do your dimension door. You step in. You end up in, I'm assuming, in the middle of Dren's shop.
Yeah.
Right in the front area there. You get in, and it smells. You know, you can smell the grease and the oil. Like if you've ever, whenever you've taken your car in to get serviced, every service place smells the same. You know, with all
Yeah, you said grease, and I was like, "Oh, kitchen grease."
No, not that horrid
Yeah.
thing. No, not that. No, more just the mechanical grease and oils and lubricants, and there's a bit of a that acridness of metal. It's almost like you can taste like copper on your tongue when you come in, just from the. I'm sure there's probably metal shavings, kind of just particulate floating around the air.
Present in the air.
Just there, just innate. Nothing dangerous. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Right.
We haven't discovered carcinogens yet.
There's you can hear it sounds like clocks ticking, almost all over the place. It is chaos in this place. It is chaos in this shop, but there's also a certain order to that chaos. So it's the kind of case where it makes sense to the person who created it.
I'd like to check for traps, for sort of like a survival check, I guess.
Okay. Check for traps.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
That's 21.
So how would you be searching for traps?
So now that I know that just like touching the door is gonna spray shit on me, like I'm just like looking at surfaces and really looking at the floor. Mainly looking at the floor to see if there's like pressure plates.
What else has been booby trapped to pee?
Because I haven't, because like I've dimension doored in and then I haven't moved at all. Like I'm just like looking around and I'm smelling the weird acrid metal smell, and I'm like, okay. So I'm just sort of like looking for anything that looks like if I step on it, I'm going to get hurt. If I step on that part of the floor, I'm going to get hurt. And basically, my goal with this is to make my way to her workbench and put the armor on the workbench and leave.
Okay. So using your perception, you are able to see what looks to be some of the floorboards, which don't quite sit right. And it could be that they're just warped over time and there might be a little rise to them. But some of them look like maybe a little newer, or maybe it looks like they maybe tried to do like the color match thing. You know, where it's like, so, but you think you can pick out a safe path. You think you can last crusade this thing to the workbench.
Okay. Is this gonna work? I don't think this is gonna work. Wait.
And do a constitution check real quick.
Shit. Wait. Okay. Studded leather armor weighs 13 pounds, but this is small. How much does this weigh? This is studded leather armor set that I weigh.
You're trying to mage hand this. What?
I want to say that small weapons and armor are a quarter of the weight.
They might be. What's the weight limit of mage hand?
10.
You can do it mage hand.
All right, so he looks around, he sees that floorboard thing, and he's like, "Fuck this!" And he's like, "I need a hand." And then mage hand, it goes like this, and it goes like that, and then he's like that, and then the mage hand goes down and it grabs the armor set and it lifts it up, and it's like it moves its finger like that, and it's like that, and the mage hand goes over and just drops it on the workbench.
Okay. So it's able to safely do that.
Yeah.
Right as it puts it down on the workbench, like a giant bear trap snaps up around it. Like the armor is fine.
Okay.
But it like chunk, like it's almost like a cartoon sized bear trap type situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear it ratchet back, and it goes back under. It like you can't even see like where this thing appeared from within the bench.
As soon as it does, like ah,
and do a Constitution check.
Okay. 11.
So you feel the need to rub your eyes, and because of all the stuff, all the dust and everything, and you do that, and now your eyes start burning.
Fuck. All right.
You are relatively certain that your hand is covered in hot sauce, and like hot pepper sauce.
All right.
I was hoping for like cat pee or something funny, but
This is
you know,
the
this
price
is good
you
too.
pay for being nice, doing something nice for someone.
See,
By
well,
breaking
this is
into
also-
her, he broke into her shop.
This is an interesting opportunity for Hugon once he learns about this, if he learns about this, like because he was gonna prank Dren pretty aggressively, but now he's probably not going to.
It depends on if I say anything.
I mean, yeah. I mean, all he was gonna do is organize her shop.
I'm just gonna clean it.
So,
I love
my
that.
so my
Guys, I don't know if Clues is gonna watch this episode, and if she does, this is all ruined. But I think we'll work out something where Hugon just does it, because I think it'd be funny when she comes back next week, and she comes in. Your shop is immaculate. It is perfectly organized, but not
It's
the way
cleaned. It doesn't smell like shit anymore.
If you've ever seen have you ever seen the show Weeds?
No.
There's a part where Kevin Nealon plays a trick on someone by stealing this enormous lit crucifix off of a church,
Mhm.
and this thing is like 15 feet high. It is
Jesus.
enormous, and it's one day it's there, and his character hated the thing, and finally one day it just wasn't there, and they all knew it was him, but they couldn't prove it, and they couldn't figure out where it was. And then it goes to a scene of the DEA doing when they look at homes sometimes using infrared to see if there's like grow lights.
Mhm.
And they found one home that had this weird crucifix looking glow light in there, and there is never any explanation for how he by himself got this like 800-pound cross into this house, which it wouldn't fit in, and set it up as the grow light. So I think this is kind of qualifies that it's so ridiculous that yes, I think we'll just say that at some point in the intervening time between that Hugon went in there and cleaned the shop. So anyway,
That's hilarious.
but okay. Anyway, back to Eno.
all right. So I have one eye burning and my hands burning,
Yeah.
and I am going to just dimension door the fuck out of this
Okay.
workshop before anything else bad happens.
And where do you dimension door to?
Well, I imagine my room is too far because it's 500 feet. Is how like I don't think I could go directly to my room, could I?
Yeah, I think you could. It's the
Really?
two buildings are close enough, and 500 feet. So I'm trying to like judge the distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 500 feet is actually like a pretty sizable distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so as soon as he does that, he's like, fuck, and he's
Mhm.
he just concentrates, and the door opens, and he goes through it, and he's in his room, and he
what
runs. Yeah, go ahead.
What you just missed, as you mentioned, if you had stayed there, you hear a slight click as you leave, as the pressure plate you were standing on finally releases. You go through the dimension door, and right as you step through, right behind you, a boxing glove comes out and bops you in the back of the head. No points of damage. No
It
damage.
hits me
No damage.
through the door.
Yeah, it just boom right
God
through the
damn
door.
it!
And it's like on like the accordion spring, you know, where it and then
Oh my god! So I'm just like,
But no-
what
no-
the fuck?
but
What
right as
the
you turn
absolute
around,
hell was
right as
that?
you turn around, the door closes.
I'm just like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again. And I go right to the wash basin in my room, and I'm like furiously like trying to rinse my hand. So like, am I able to wash this stuff off my hand?
Yeah, eventually. But as you know, there's always like a little bit of that pepper, of that capsaicin that just seems to like chemically bond to your skin. So, as best you can tell, it is nothing more than a hot pepper sauce.
Be careful when
Okay.
you pee.
Yeah, exactly. You might want to.
And I've been like, I'm like, as I like, right as soon as I get my hands clean, I'm like, you know, I wash. I just have my canteen, and I'm like, and then like I fill it up again, and I'm just like,
So, Thunuk, what would Thunuk have done in the intervening months between the Battle of Pinedale and this moment of you coming downstairs and seeing Dren's note?
He would have effectively just continued his clinic work, and maybe explored the underground tunnels with Grimoire a bit.
Okay.
He would have had chats with Grimoire because this is the first time he's ever met anyone who's vaguely familiar with the deities that he serves, or for the fact that he has answers to questions he didn't even realize existed.
So what would...
I think mostly he'd probably forget about the questions and the answers whenever he was thinking about going to hang out with Grimoire, and just be like, I'm going to go hang out.
And for the most part, Grimoire is pretty silent. He's able to, every now and again, you're able to wake him up. But he's very old, and he likes to sleep. But every now and again, he like the eyes flicker, and you're able to maintain like a short conversation with him.
Having no idea that whether or not he eats or drinks, Thunuk would probably bring him a coffee and a donut every time you saw him. Watch him not eat it, then leave, and then maybe he does eat it, maybe he doesn't, out of like politeness.
Well, regardless, whenever you've come back, the coffee is gone and the
donut's gone.
The donut is gone. As to whether he ate it or not, I mean, you don't know. You have noticed every now and again that some of the parents of the Potato Scouts have been complaining about some hyperactivity issues with some of the kids, but you're not sure if the two are related at all.
To solve that issue, he would probably come up with more weird, like, exercises for them to do, like how the story behind the invention of yoga is some monarch which just had too many young kids and he was just like, I don't know what to do with these people. They're just too active and rambunctious. Do all these physical exercisey things.
So would Thunuk lead like a morning yoga program for the kids?
No, but he'd probably invent D&D parkour just to get them like kids want to run and climb and jump and stuff. So he'd be like, okay, run and climb and do this little course.
D&D parkour.
Yeah.
Taking them into the death world forest and being like, yay, children, we're going to look at what not to eat today.
No, he'd either do that, like,
well,
take
supervised
them out
field
and,
trips.
Supervised field trips. Or have them do the thing that they were doing with the tree in the courtyard, but like races up and down the tree.
That is such a good idea that if Hugon knows that is what he's going to be doing, he's going to press to institute a child care program, whereupon all children are essentially like inducted into the Potato Scouts.
It's compulsory.
It like
this is getting we're getting into some
all the children are drafted into
it's not drafted
into
it's
the
like
junior military.
It's not no it's a scout program. It's like the Boy Scouts, and Thunuk is in charge.
That you have to join.
It's better that you join. Have to is a strong word.
But
we live in a death world forest.
I'm not going to tell you that not joining is not going to limit your ability for upward mobility later in life. But the connections you make now.
I just think that,
I think when they're seeing what's going on,
whilst parents are at work, perhaps a practical education course run by Thunuk would be a useful thing for children to have.
So now we have the Potato Scouts doing the whole parkour thing, even like in their free time now, because they're loving it, right? So as the summer has progressed and they've gotten better and better at this, bouncing around, every now and again you'll see them running around the ramparts of the main keep, like scrambling up and poop. They do that, where they're bouncing off of like the corners and like.
Oh god, like Jackie Chan running up
the
walls of an alleyway.
Yeah,
exactly. Like every now and again, like you've had to talk to them a few times because you've seen some of the older ones doing the roof jumping thing, where they're going from roof to roof, and it's scary as anything to watch. But they're none of them are doing like the really scary thing where they go roof to roof but land on the edge, hanging by their fingertips, and then boost themselves over. They're actually doing like the full like
vault
tuck and roll. So they're trying to be But every now and again, you got to talk to them about that because. You'll be up in your clinic and you'll see them, roof hopping. D&D parkour. It needs a name. We're gonna need to come up with a name for D&D parkour.
I mean, that's a creation of an Acquisitions Incorporated employee, so it's
Spud running.
Spud run. There's an entire lore there about how spuds run.
I love it.
You never see them run. Do you want to know why? Because
they're so quick.
Because they're so quick and they're so good at it.
They're very sneaky.
Yes, they are very sneaky. Have you ever seen a potato fall out of a tree? Never.
Nor will you ever, because a potato will not allow you to see that. They're that sneaky.
Oh god.
And during the course, you've started to do some urban exploration, as it were. Going into the catacombs, and you're finding, as you've gone, like you've only been in a few chambers in, old cobwebs, very very old cobwebs. Trying to think, what would that entrance be? That would be. It seems like. It's some kind of record hall that you've seen so far, that you haven't been able to get very deep yet. I mean, there's still there's rubble that's, blocking a lot of the ways, but you are able to find that there are carvings in the walls. It looks like carvings of certain events, perhaps a historical record of some kind. You can see what I'm trying. Would he recognize Elvish?
As I recall, I gave him Elvish as a language.
Okay.
But we also established that he doesn't read Elvish. He can write it. He can
speak it and understand.
Speak it, yeah.
So he might look at it and see. Thunuk you might see that. Okay, yeah, this is Elvish. And every now and again, he might pick up a word.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether that's because of his own limitations in the language, or whether it's because it's just a different dialect of it that maybe he doesn't have good enough command over. All of the motifs, I guess, is it called like bas relief? Is that called when they're carved into the wall?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure I'm using the proper terms here, right? We're learning things today. We use big
a bas bas relief.
Is it bas relief?
Honestly, I don't know. I had different art history teachers who were like.
I just like
bass,
screwing with the word BASS just to like
bass. It's
there's
all fish.
There's so many things.
It's too many things.
It's fish. No, but the little parts that you've been able to see, and you think it might, if it were cleaned up more, you might be able to get more out of it. But apparently, it is telling a story of some kind of elven settlement. and there's like a blank section that you can't really, because it looks like it's too caked over with rock and dust, and it's all in there, and you don't think you'd be able to you'd have to get in there with some tools. You know, you got to do the archaeological thing where you're like with brushes and everything, because you don't want to damage it too much, because it's all very, very finely worked, and I do believe that you would be self-aware enough to know that Thunuk with his big strong hands probably would not be good to touch the very delicate things in the chance of breaking them. But it does seem at some point that it looks like there was there was a visitor of some kind that was depicted in the wall, the identity of which seems to be lost to the ages, at least as far as the features. And then it kind of goes blank with all the different build up, and it worn down and everything like that. There seems to be some damage to the wall. You're not sure from what. And then right where like a rock slide hits, before you can go any deeper, it seems like maybe some kind of, the way you would interpret it, some kind of calamity had befallen this civilization.
A visitor as in a guy out of town, or visitor as in a being from beyond or from elsewhere?
I'd take either perception or religion for that.
As we established, Thunuk is a cleric with incredibly bad religious.
Well, there's not really a whole lot of dogma.
Yeah, no, there
to the
isn't.
4.
Well, that's bad either way. That's an 8 total.
You're not really sure. You don't know. It could be that someone came from out of town. It could be that someone came from another plane of existence. You're not sure. It falls anywhere in that spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in there. They're either. But the only thing you can definitely determine based on just your interpretation of this is that someone came to visit. Gifts were offered. You know, it's typical customs that you would see. Right? Someone shows up, you offer them something to eat and something to drink. It's just polite. Mm-hmm. It's just good manners. But that's kind of what you've unearthed with this point. So I'd say that's a pretty productive 2 months of exercise regimen. Mm-hmm. Are there any goals that he would give them? Are there any like, oh, you need to first one to the tree, or is it like
when it comes to climbing the tree, he'd try to say the first one to the top and then back down again.
Okay.
But I think we established that there was some special leaf or nut or something like that, or flower at the top of the tree that the tree made for them to go get. And I would like to say it is always there again the next day.
Oh, it's like a tree star.
Yeah, it's like a tree star.
It is
like whoever gets it, theirs basically withers away almost overnight, like in terms of dust. But as there's a new one up there every day.
But they're not allowed to go up. You're not allowed to go up and get it
without me there
until Scoutmaster Thunuk says it's okay.
Yeah, and it becomes a race.
Did we say it was Spudmaster Thunuk?
I don't think don't recall if we actually.
I kind of like Spud Lord.
Spud Lord
Thunuk.
I'm writing that down.
Yep.
Yes.
Spud Lord.
Yes.
Spud Lord Thunuk.
He has deserved an epithet in game for many years now.
He's earned it.
And he is now Spud Lord.
So, but on this fateful morning, Hugon, when you awoke, you saw the note from Dren. You did your little fist pump, knowing that it might be quiet in its own way. But on this morning, you have a very special meeting scheduled.
Oh, good.
One that you actually might want to have Eno and Thunuk present for. And it's up to you. It is up to you.
Let me guess. Mm-hmm. Zedram Kai's trial.
No.
Oh, wait. I killed him. That's right.
No, you didn't.
I killed him right after the battle.
No,
I'm kidding.
He's still in cold storage. There's with him. There's a lot of record keeping that needs to be gone through.
Mm-hmm, right.
There's a lot of. He was one of those like administrative baddies.
Yeah, he's got books and ledgers and all that shit that we need to.
Is he literally in cold storage? Is he like magically frozen or something?
I kind of hope so. I hate that.
I don't know if anyone has the ability to do that, but he has been. He's been in the dungeon in one of the holding cells beneath the keep. He's been smug as ever, refusing to speak.
We confiscated all of his worldly possessions and mansion.
And so you're trying to get you haven't gotten to the true treasure trove of but you know that there's more records elsewhere and it's still but no today, and you can decide whether you would invite Eno and Thunuk to this meeting. You might want to. Is that so after the graduation of the Personal Excellence Track 1 folks, would they actually have a title now? I opened this up to the group. Would they have a title after graduating? Because before they were like recruits, trainees. This is all part of the overarching internship program, right? But would there be like Greenhorn, Tenderfoot, something? You know, would there be a title attached? You graduate. You got your personal excellent. Are they now masks?
No, it's not corporate enough.
Special sub intern level 1.
I was going to say that's good. Sub intern 1 is good because I like the. Okay. You're not even an intern yet.
Yeah.
You're on your way.
I mean, let's face it. How many years did Rothfuss spend?
This is true.
Just working his way up that program.
Subspecialist intern.
Oh, I like that. Subspecialist.
Oh, subspecialist proto intern. Because
specialist.
Yeah, I don't have any input on that. I can't think of a good one.
No, this works. SSPI.
There you go. That's they're SSPIs.
SSPI 1.
Spies.
SSPI 1. Spies.
I have my spies.
My spies.
Spy level 1. I love it. Guy, this
perfect.
See? This is where crowdsourcing works at its best.
See, I would not have been able to do that.
No. But this is perfect. Okay, so SSPI. So your SSPIs, who are part of what was it called again? It was the
Outcome Management and Solutions, and they are graduates of Personal Excellence Track 1.
So it's OMS.
So they're part of the OMS. They're SSPI 1s. They graduated from the PET 1 level.
PET 1.
This is like, yeah, dude, we're getting as corporate as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
I love this.
This is like the fucking Sigma 6 horse shit.
We need to send this to Jerry because Jerry would be absolutely delighted by the level of corporate depths that we've reached.
We need a spreadsheet. Oh shit.
Spreadsheet montage.
We have someone here who loves spreadsheets.
Spreadsheet life.
SS life, man.
Don't do that again. Don't.
But anyway,
do not do that again.
During the course of your SSPIs, reestablishing the trade routes because the bridge is still being built. That's like an ongoing project. It takes a while to rebuild a bridge.
And it's going to be a kick-ass bridge.
Oh, it's going to be an awesome bridge.
Yeah.
But as your SSPIs have been slowly reestablishing the trade routes and back out to El Boulder, you've noticed, all of you, that while some trade has returned, it is definitely not at the pace that it used to be. Now, part of it could be marked up to could be chalked up to just the fact that it was closed for so long that it takes a while for things to pick
investor
back up.
Confidence is harmed.
Yeah, people got to know that that it takes a while to communicate that the ways are open again. But what you've discovered from the information you've received from your SSPIs upon reaching El Boulder is that things have gotten worse there. While during the course of all of your negotiations, I think that over the course of a couple months, you guys have probably had conversations with the Emerald Enclave. It's been unraveled that, Zedram Kai was playing some tricks and whatever on people, and that they were able to start logging again responsibly. They were allowed to. The Emerald Enclave is starting to help clear that up. You're still not seeing the trade get out of there. It seems like it is bottlenecking at El Boulder.
Okay.
In a way that it probably shouldn't. And further, if you remember, way back when, to your original entrance into Elboulder. And remember, Eno didn't enter this way. Eno he took the back door. He took the easier way to get there.
Via portal.
Via portal. There was a group there called the Brotherhood of the Sun. Otherwise known as the Red Bands.
Yeah.
Oh, that was their name?
Yes, you guys had a confrontation with them, and your very first at the inn that you were staying in before you entered into the Chondawood, where you talked them all down.
That was the first natural 20 of the game.
It was the first natural 20 of the game. Hugon was sitting on his now musical stool that he'd paid for.
Mm-hmm.
You had a stool. Dren converted it.
It did. It's true. I still have it.
And there was a conversation with the Red Bands.
Mm-hmm.
And the Red Bands, the Brotherhood of the Sun, were basically a human-only society. That during the course of the economic strife that had struck Elboulder, they had started to extend the blame onto everyone who was not human. Thunuk had the very first confrontation with them when he first entered into the town. Well, it seems like they perhaps have grown a little bit more in power and are purposefully holding up the goods and keeping it from keeping the trade route from being 100% open the way that it should be. Now, this could be because they have decided that this is just the way they want to be. It could be greed, just because they're morons and they have no idea how an economy works, and they think that it's okay. And any number of reasons why people go into this, but they have gained some political clout, and you were able, Hugon, to arrange for their leader, Kalius Morpho, to have a meeting with you at the keep, in your official capacity as one of the town council. So you have this meeting coming up with him. He arrived of his own volition. He didn't have to be coerced or drugged there or otherwise absconded with. But you do know you have that meeting with him this morning to talk about how what would be the best approach for everyone, so that way there could be proper trade reestablished for both Elboulder and Pinedale. Because even though they have all the trade and they're sitting on it right now, there's very few people who are really benefiting from that. He, as you know from your sources, is one of them that is benefiting.
I would absolutely invite Thunuk and Eno, forewarning them of the type of person that they were going to be dealing with, but they're by no means required to be there.
The description you get, Thunuk, you recognize this was one of the ones that confronted you, Thunuk, when you first came into Elboulder.
A point of clarification: did he show up alone?
He did.
Completely alone.
Mm-hmm. You guaranteed his safety.
Oh no, absolutely, of course. I want my spies keeping their ears to the ground across Pinedale to see if there's anybody associated with him in town, unbeknownst to us, spreading red band rhetoric.
Okay.
And I want that reported on. I also want his house to have a security detail from the Pinedale Guard, not from spies.
Okay.
Not from Outcomes Solutions and Management. Because he is a visiting political entity from a independent town, and it is, a point of propriety, excuse me.
Yeah. That
he have an official Pinedale security detail.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. That all seems reasonable. Thunuk and Eno, would you join him in this meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Primarily because I was invited, not because I have any real interest. It's just rude not to go if you're invited.
That's fine. Are there any preparations you would like to make before going into this meeting?
Beyond the Oh, are you talking to me or to?
Oh, in general. I mean, so you've already made the preparations of ensuring that making sure he did come alone. If he did not, making sure that you're keeping an eye on any of the other red bands that might have come. You have him under escort.
Yeah, and I
an
mean,
honor guard.
Yeah, aside from like all the obvious political
Mm-hmm.
paperwork and whatnot, and like looking clean and nice,
Mm-hmm.
there's not really a whole lot of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Hugon is doing his utmost to be reasonable,
Mm-hmm.
I think, but it's gonna be kind of contingent on the shit that comes out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are there any preparations you would like to make prior to going into this meeting? It will be held at the keep. In Hugon's offices.
I assume there's been a day at least in between my fiasco, or is it the same
we'll
day?
let you recover from that.
All right.
your hands are like bright red and swollen slightly.
Sure.
Like,
Everything tastes a little spicier now. You're not sure why.
No, he definitely brings his loot with him, and that just has sort of his go bag. And that's
Okay. So you all make your way into the keep. As you enter in through the main gates, as you have so many times before, you see a new group of recruits, smaller this time. Smaller group, you didn't have the same outpouring. It's probably this time it's about 20 people who are out there training under the watchful eye of some of the new sub-specialist proto-interns, level 1, who are and as they see you walk by, they have their masks on their belts. They kind of hooked onto their belt, and as you come walking through, there's a nod. There's the
I see you nod.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see that they're adequately instructing these people. You work your way into the into the office. So the way the keep is, we had said before that there's like some offices on the main floor. That's where the town council, where when they do need to have some space to do some work, that's where they're doing it, because they all have full-time jobs. Being on town council is not a full-time job here in Pinedale. There's no real need for full-time politics. It's just hey, sometimes things need to be done. So Hugon, you come in as you enter into you enter into your office, which I am sure is immaculate, organized. The desk is clean. There's papers are neatly,
Yeah, also very spare.
Yeah, only what you need.
Chair, my desk, other chair.
Yep. And then there's a door that leads out of your office to an adjoining conference room between you and one of the other counselors' offices. And so you get in there, you get your guys all ready to go, and you enter in to the conference room where Kalius Morpho is sitting, and he's wearing a townsperson's clothes, nicer than what most townspeople would wear. Not like nobility level, but nice. Completely shaved head. It almost looks like he has no eyebrows. They might be not sure if it's just because they're shaved or he just has very fair hair. You do see right over right by his ear, there's a tattoo that it looks like a stylized rising sun over there. And you walk in, and Eno walks in, and Thunuk walks in, ducks to get through the door, and he starts to stand up, but when he sees Thunuk and Eno, he gets a sneer on his face and he sits back down. And I think this is going to be a good place for us to take our break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think that pleased Hugon very much at all.
I think that you are correct.
So
I think that your intuition is accurate.
So we're going to go to a brief break. We're going to go do the things that people need to do. And then we will come back with some more Dungeons and Dragons. So please stick around. BRB.
Hugon mode,
I think you're already there in Hugon mode.
perhaps.
And we are back.
Uh-oh.
Hugon mode on.
Activate Hugon.
Activate Hugon mode. Quick, find me a beer.
What was it that the Centurions would say? Did they have like a thing they would do when they would do the thing? And
Man, that's a good question. That was one of my favorite
I can't remember.
cartoon shows when I was growing up.
Now I'm looking it up.
because they all had like the activation thing.
Yeah,
right?
they had the activation call. I mean, everybody did.
Mm-hmm. Autobots roll out,
Autobots roll
or
out.
transform and roll out, or Decepticons transform and attack.
Mm-hmm.
But again, not why we're here. It's just gonna be something that will have to bug us.
They've got the intro playing.
Oh, he's got the intro playing.
Come on, Thunuk, focus. Focus.
Well, it's in character.
I'll look at it later.
He's having this important meeting, and I wonder what the trees would say.
Oh, bug! Oh, I can add it to the bug report.
Oh, so cool looking.
It's the bug report. I have to file the bug report. Hey, we are back. When we last left our protagonists, some things had happened, and then we played D&D.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where we are.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let's do a quick recap. I know it's been a whole 5 minutes, but let's just do a quick recap. 'Cause
Sure.
You never know. We're just going the order here. Thunuk further established the Potato Scouts and made a what do we call it? Spud running. The D&D
spud
parkour
run.
as a way of burning off the excess energy, which he might have inadvertently given them when he left coffee out for his friend, the Warforged, and maybe someone snuck a drink of. I have to imagine that there is very, very strong coffee available in Pinedale.
Probably.
Probably the best.
Like probably a lot of great coffee, because we've established that there are coffee beans being grown up in the mountains above it by some of the farms up there.
Mm-hmm.
But some of it, I have to imagine, you get like the thick mud, like coffee that's almost like Turkish coffee, which is like,
Turkish coffee is amazing.
Yeah. We've
You're
established.
not supposed to drink the sludge at the bottom. Just keep that. Remember that.
Don't do that.
No, that's what you use to tell your fortune.
What?
That's tea.
That's
You can do it with coffee too. No, seriously, coffee thing. You're supposed to like. There's people that look at the coffee like, oh, you can read the coffee beans at the bottom.
Oh.
So.
I didn't know that. I thought that was tea only.
I used to drink the sludge in Turkish coffee for years, and I had no idea you were supposed to do that.
Is it kind of like how you're not supposed to inhale a cigar?
Don't do that either.
No.
Yeah,
I learned that the hard way. We established that, or we revealed it, however you want to put it, that Hugon's first class graduated. They graduated the first class of Outcome Management Solutions. His internship program graduated. The Personal Excellence Track 1, and now have access to more of the skill tree. And their title for this is going to be the Subspecialist Proto-Intern Level 1, or the SPIES. We learned that Eno has made some lovely studded leather armor for Dren, and then paid the price for trying to give it to her. But he survived. He's fine. But there was hot sauce. There was a boxing glove.
Mm-hmm.
Things happened. But now they have a meeting with the leader of a group, if we want to call them that, a group that is currently holding sway over Elboulder and preventing full commerce from reestablishing the Brotherhood of the Sun, otherwise known as the Red Bands. And their leader, Kaelis Morpho, has a meeting with Hugon Valander, and Hugon had entered the room with Thunuk and Eno, and being that the Red Bands are a human-first group,
Humanocentric entity.
That's a great humanocentric. Yeah, he has offered some disrespect.
He has.
We shall say, and that is where we currently lay our scene. In the shared conference room of Hugon Valander and Azerbaijan, there's a shared conference between their offices, and this is where we find ourselves. And
here's
yeah, I'm sorry, go
here's one thing that I would like to be doing
ahead. Mm-hmm.
as this meeting opens.
Mm-hmm.
We are 8th level,
Mm-hmm.
and as a 7th level battle master, Hugon has the ability of, after observing another creature for 1 minute out of combat, I can learn information about its capabilities in comparison to my own.
Okay.
You are to tell me if the creature is my equal, my superior, or inferior in regard to 2 of the following characteristics of your choice:
Okay.
strength score, dexterity score, constitution score, armor class, current hit points, total class levels, if any, fighter class levels, if any. Which I think dovetails off of the
That's a lot of options there.
obviator.
But I can only, but he only gets 2.
He only gets 2. I think doesn't the obviator in the Akink book get that kind of thing?
You know what? I have.
Oh, it's mine's in my Tupperware still. I don't have access to it.
Obviators are standing by.
Where is it?
Buy my book.
Where? Oh, hang on.
Where is my book?
Oh, here it is. Okay. Here we go. This is why we have these things.
Because I think I picked obviator.
You
Pretty
did
sure.
pick obviator.
Yeah.
It wasn't cartographer, decisionist, documenter, hordes person, loremonger, obviator, oculant, secretarian. Yeah, you chose obviator. That's page 28. All right. So the obviator. You add your proficiency bonus to an ability check to make sense of an enemy's tactics, discern a hidden threat, or intimidate a foe whose weaknesses you have previously assessed.
Okay.
Read the opposition, because you are level 1. You're a level 1 obviator.
I suspect. I mean,
Also
I don't know what the
rank
qualifications for 2 are.
As a bonus action, make a DC 15 Wisdom Insight check. On a success, you learn 3 details of your choice about the creature. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You can use this feature only once on any creature. Possible details you might learn include the creature's goals or motivation, bonds or ideals, personality traits, flaws, combat strategy, including common attack methods or tactics, financial information, lair location, allies or foes. So basically, you do like Sherlock Holmes on him, where you pick out like a few little details and are able to deduce from there.
So, and I can do that and the Battlemaster stuff.
So, but it would require a minute's worth of observation. So is it a case of you just basically walk in, sit down, and just stare at him for a minute straight?
Well, I mean, observing somebody doesn't necessarily mean you observe in silence. I mean...
Yeah.
Also,
would it be the same minute, or would it...
Probably the same minute, because
it sounds...
your enemy doesn't take an action. Ooh. You just have to be around them for 1 minute.
It'd be a lot funnier if you just sit down and just stare. Just stare at him.
Sir, what are you doing?
Just don't even say. He doesn't even move.
Silent
treatment. Stare at him for 1 minute.
I can see that working really well. Where he's going, you called this meeting. Why?
But there's just still silence. Like nobody's talking.
Everybody on my side of the table is just mean mugging him in utter silence.
Yeah, I just got my loot.
So that's one thing that I would like to be doing. I would be like to spend those minutes, like the 1 minute and the 1 minute, studying this dude to figure out the information that I am allowed to. I haven't quite decided what I want to figure out. I'll have to look at my book.
The visual I have in my head of this, right, is Hugon sitting there cross-armed and just having like that dead stare that he has. It's not like you're not even like contorted. It's just completely like poker faced, right? I see Eno kind of doing, if there's a scene in the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie with Keith Richards, where after he like shoots a guy, he just kind of leans back with the lute and just starts picking out a tune. Yeah, I just see like Eno kind of just like, as a tactic, but the tune would be like just out of a proper tempo, because that it messes with you when it's like or it's like a really like weird time, like this like Tool.
So I'm playing like this really esoteric, like jazz rock, like.
Yeah.
No, what's it?
We were expecting like a 4 count, but it's not.
It's like Pyramid Song.
And then I see Thunuk like, I think Thunuk would like be trying to like mean mug, but it's Thunuk like.
I don't think he understand what mean mugging is. So if he were told to mean mug, he probably would have brought like a mug from the bar that the meanest person there drank out of,
And
And
just
just
sit
set it
down.
on the table. And
Just-
ha!
But you know
So-
what? That could be like why does he have that mug? Why? Like
he's just like looking. It's like
It's just like presenting it
um.
in
so
utter
as-
silence.
So as far as the first
So-
part, the stats.
Yeah. So definitely I'm doing that,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll come back to that. Let's handle the
The first part,
the know your enemy
to
part.
know you're in it. I got the Green Day the song running through my head.
Sorry, I
No,
apologize.
no,
I
it's
did not.
okay.
I didn't mean to do that to you.
No, I like Green Day. It's fine. So 2 stats.
Two things from
Two
that list I
things.
gave you of your choice.
Here, let me pull up my. Is that in the player's manual?
It is in the player's handbook under Battle Master.
What page?
And- Oh shit! Ugh.
Yeah.
It's in the fighter section. I know that.
Okay. Well, that narrows it down. Fighter section, page 70. Okay, let's see. Here, wait. We gotta get the good ASMR.
if you have your D&D Beyond open, Source will tell you what page it's on.
Okay, I do not have that.
No, Gideon.
I don't have access to that
let's
information
see.
via
Battle
DB.
Master.
Eh,
Okay.
Never mind.
Know your enemy. 1 minute observing. Game tells you if you just equal spirit or inferior regard to 2 of the 5 of your choice. Oh, you get to choose. You get to choose the characteristics, and I get to tell you
Oh,
whether they are inferior or superior or
Ah,
because during the observation you would be looking for specific things. You would be
that
like,
makes sense.
I'm watching to see how this guy moves, to see if he has. So that would be like dexterity, or I'm looking to see.
right.
I'm
I
observing
don't know why
his
I misinterpreted that.
Don't mind my friend. He's just admiring the shape of your skull.
I would like to know. Let's do total class levels and fighter class levels. Those are the 2 most important things that I would like to know.
He is inferior in both.
Okay.
He is inferior in both.
If any, that's the important thing. Does he have any fighter class levels?
0
Okay.
fighter class levels.
But in class levels total, he is inferior.
He is 0. Yeah.
Okay.
You are inferior in both. Or no, he is inferior to you in both
Okay.
of those things.
Gotcha.
Decepticons superior, Autobots inferior. That's
Mm,
What was this guy's name again? I'm sorry.
his name
Okay.
is Kalis Morpho.
Kalis Morpho.
Mm-hmm.
so he is the Grand Pappy / demigod of the Klingons, but with butterfly wings. Gotcha.
Okay.
No, that'd be Kalis. This is
Oh,
Kalis.
Morpho.
Okay.
Different.
So,
It's completely different.
was he one of the people that I intimidated in the bar?
Do a history check.
Okay. It's a 15 on the die.
Yes,
Okay.
that's enough.
Wait, is this the guy that Thunuk tried to sell a trinket to?
Yes.
Oh. Oh.
And
He'd recognize him
as
as-
he's sitting there, you could see he like refuses to make eye contact with you, Thunuk, or you, Eno. He like almost wants to like he's trying to his best to he's very consciously ignoring your presence. It's like very obvious that he's like trying to ignore your presence, as if he doesn't want to like even admit that you are there.
Master Morpho, I would hate for the tone of this meeting to be set so early before words are even said. We came here to resolve things, didn't we? In good faith.
In good faith, but look what you brought to this meeting.
Well, I mean, as members of the Acquisitions Incorporated team, you know, as part of our organizational structure, they have to be, my coworkers are required by company charter to be present with all acquisitions business that involves the franchise. And as you can probably guess, being a mercantile organization, our franchise is going to need to be heavily involved with the trade between Elboulder and Pinedale.
He says,
how is the weather in Elboulder these days? We had a bit of a drought, if you recall, up in the mountains here. Things going fine down there. The farm is doing well.
well, first I'll address your first point in that I don't really care what the corporate policies of your bastardized organization are going to require you to do one way or the other. The farm is fine. And yes, we did come to try to resolve this. But we need to make sure that the goods are going to the proper people. We wouldn't want it misused. And that is, of course, a concern.
Oh, well, let us then get straight to business. What organizations, I guess you could say, are we presupposing are the appropriate people? I would very much like to see that list if you have it in writing.
Well, what I propose is this. That any of the merchants in Pinedale that would like to ensure safe passage of their goods should have to go through an application process where we will do a very thorough vetting of their business, making sure that they are not selling potentially dangerous goods to entities that shouldn't be having these goods. And then we will be able to establish a certification program with them, and then we will make sure that they have the proper papers and letters of marque and seals to make sure that as goods are being brought into Elboulder, that they're going to the proper people.
Interesting. And what authority is vested in your organization to determine these things? You understand that that is not a combative question. I am representing a government agency, and I have to be, clear in the writing of these things if a contract is to be written. Well, exactly who we're going to be doing business.
Well, we're merely just a civil organization made up of concerned citizens, but we do have positions of power, and we have influence, and we have clout, and we're just trying to use it to the best that we can to make sure that the right people benefit.
It sounds like you've been growing over the last few months.
We have. People come to realize that sometimes you have to look at the world as it is.
Does everyone in Elboulder feel the same? I'm curious.
I'm sure there are some misguided souls that see things a different way, but there's others also that probably don't want to voice their opinions, being that they might be unpopular, but I think there's a silent majority that we can attest to.
I'm sorry, I
have to. It doesn't smell very good in here. I apologize. He holds up a handkerchief to his nose and does the whole,
In terms of,
it smells like dirt and brimstone. I can't quite figure out why. But
in terms of membership with your organization, the Brotherhood of the Sun, it's going to be asked how we are to determine that in the hopes of avoiding any bad actors or malfeasance or bandits posing as your organization, your signage, for lack of a better word, how are we to identify the official members of your organization in the pursuit of making sure we are sending our people to the correct place, dealing with the appropriate civil authorities, making sure that they're not being having the wool pulled over their eyes, because you'll forgive me, but most anyone can acquire a red cloth and tie it to their arm. You understand?
We have an office of sorts in town, in Elboulder. And of course, it would make sense that we also establish an office here, so that way we're protecting both sides of the transaction. It would make the most sense. Because you're right, anyone can tie a red band to their arm.
Right.
Although I would imagine that most people only would if they're truly believing certain philosophies.
You understand, just to be very clear, that the foundation of an office here in town is outside of my authority to grant. That's a different section of the council. I can recommend, yes, that this should happen, but I cannot unanimously approve a decision that affects this Pinedale as a whole. Just moving forward, I want that to be in the open.
I suppose I'm just not dealing with the correct person.
No, I think that you are dealing with the correct person. I think that having had our past dealings, I think we very much understand the type of people that we each are, the type of organizations that we each represent. And truly what we are most concerned with on both sides of this equation is, of course, profit, and ensuring that profit falls into the right hands. The enrichment of Elboulder, and by extension your organization, and the enrichment of Pinedale, and by extension my organization, is of course the chief concern here.
Yes, but judging by the company that you keep, I don't know that those goals align. I don't think we have the same definition of the correct people.
Well, I mean, that much is obvious.
Eno starts playing an intimidating song on his...
He shifts to minor.
Yeah, like
shifts to minor key.
I want to like through the music that like I'm just playing like an ambient thing, so it's like really in the background. It's very, very faint, but I want to try and do like an intimidation.
Okay, I like
check
this.
on
So
this
this is
guy.
kind of like, so if you've ever heard, someone took "Smells Like Teen Spirit" and played it in a major key, and it became like a totally poppy like song.
Yeah,
this is the reverse.
Somebody did "Hey Jude" in minor.
Okay.
And it's pretty sad.
There's an excellent example is also with the Emperor's March from Star Wars.
If it's in major, yeah.
In major, or was it minor? I forget. But it turned into something like uplifting and very like very different. And they basically renamed it Vader's Salvation.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So is that going to be a performance check?
It would be a performance check.
Okay.
Yes. I would allow for a performance. Yeah.
All right.
In this situation, because you're not like getting up in his face. You're looking to elicit a mood, which would be that's what bards do.
I'm very happy about that because I rolled a 6.
Okay.
But since it's a performance check, it becomes a 16.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You see him get like a little uncomfortable in his seat.
And as I see that, I smile.
And
I smile slightly.
Is it like the toothy grin though, where you're showing off? Because I think tieflings
a little bit.
Tieflings have some nice canines, if I remember.
Some toothiness.
Yeah, and I definitely have the hood off.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. It's
the
full.
Horns are up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, so this is like it's not a well lit room. You know, you only got a few lanterns in there, and there's no windows or anything like that. But he can see he kind of starts to squirm a little bit, and he's very, very obviously not looking in your direction, because if he looks over, it means he acknowledges you and he acknowledges that the music is bothering him, but he doesn't want to do that. So he's very like, but then he turns the other way, and then he's like kind of cheated over towards Thunuk. And I think just Thunuk smiling could potentially be a scary thing. You know,
Yeah, he's got a very pleased look on his face because he's just being included for once, and he's like, "This is so nice." The insults are flying over his head. He almost stood up to open the window when the guy was complaining about smelling bad in here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been going through his head, and it's like, now that the forest acknowledges him and acknowledges other people to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, why are we even going to Elboulder?
Interesting.
We could just go somewhere else.
Does he say this out loud?
He starts sort of like, no, I don't think he'd understand that that is a thing. It's just like, he'd probably, here, let's RP this. As Hugon and he are going on about this, Thunuk will basically like, if it's going to be such a problem for us, for the merchants to go through your town, we could just help them go to a different town. Would that be nice? Would that be helpful for you?
I'm sorry, does he speak English? I can't understand a word he's saying.
Then
Hugon smiles very ever so slightly, and I would like to roll an intimidation check with just that smile.
Okay.
That's the smile of, please be so careful. That's the, you're treading so fine a line. Please watch your words.
As he's doing that, Thunuk gets a little bit confused, and he's like, starts speaking in Dwarvish, says the exact same thing. But more like, even more questioning, like, did that make sense? No? Okay, I'll switch to Elvish. Sylvan?
Do I get advantage on this roll because of Eno's intimidating tune?
Not because of that, but because of your obviator, because you haven't dipped into your obviator element yet. So if you want to dip into that, you could try to pick out one thing of the obviator list that you're trying to find out and use that as your leverage point for the smile.
Give me just a moment.
Okay.
I can see my book from where it is. I'm going to grab it.
Grab at it.
And then I've said it in Infernal to the guy, to like what,
which is even scarier.
Yeah, like what I basically I've heard what and I cast tongues on myself.
What does that do?
So tongues it grants me the ability to understand any spoken language that I hear, and moreover, when the target speaks any I can understand what they're saying.
Okay. So you understand everything that
Thunuk just said. Like, as soon as he starts speaking a different language, I cast tongues on myself so I can understand what he's saying. And then
so it's gonna come out like
yeah. Then I say it in Infernal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not apologize, Elrond, for the black speech may be heard across all of Middle. No, I'm sorry.
I apologize, Elrond.
So, and actually, I'll roll an intimidation check while I'm saying that. Right? Can I intimidate again?
Just 3 simultaneous checks.
Oh, I guess I already did.
Do it all.
All right. Well, that was his performance. So this would be the intimidation check.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's 24.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
That dude's puckered.
Yeah.
His anus just went.
And let's see. Let's get the Hugon one here.
Today.
What's it gonna take to get you into an intimidation roll today?
All right, so that's a level 3 spell.
See, if you had the foresight, you would have jammed a lump of coal up there beforehand, because by now you're gonna have a diamond.
I can loom 3. Okay, so firstly, I need to roll an insight check.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to do that.
Proficiency bonus.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I think at level 8 is still 3, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Oh! Hang on.
Oh my goodness.
for a total of, I think, 25. I don't know. I have to look. Give me just a second.
Nice.
I don't roll I don't roll insight very often.
I think you've done what you need to do. I think we can say pretty that you've pretty thoroughly accomplished what it is you're looking to do. So just
so this is a 26 total.
Okay.
Because it's proficiency plus wisdom for a total of 6.
Okay.
So 26.
All right.
And so that's 3 details.
Which details would you like to know?
Lair location.
Okay.
Financial information.
So not liar location, layer location.
Yes.
I'm just writing this down.
And
financial.
If possible, about the allies thing, I can't decide if I want to learn how many are in his organization or who's backing them.
Okay, well, I'll answer the first 2, and then you think about that third one.
Let me get a fake coin real fast.
Oh. We need to start selling these things. we need to manufacture and sell fate coins.
You know what?
I am Eric. Eric, the fate coin manufacturer. I manufacture, distribute, and design and distribute fate coins.
I have a big old box of coins. Fantasy coins.
Okay.
Omen's what?
The coin has Omen's face on it.
Oh, I thought
it literally has literal.
I thought you were indicating that Omen meant a decision.
So that's the AI symbol, which is heads. I am.
That has such a satisfying clink when you did that.
I have like 3 more in here.
Oh no! That was so satisfying.
Oh.
Yes. That is a pleasant sound.
I want to learn the number of people in his organization.
Okay. So layer location, as you're doing your whole Sherlock Holmes thing here, right? It's like the whole, seriously, it's like you're like zooming in.
It's essentially just, I wanted him to keep talking. That's all I wanted. I wanted him to keep talking so that I could continue to think and to listen and to dissect the person in front of me.
So right away, you can tell by the accent he is in fact from El Boulder, but there is a slightest hint, possibly from Cormier in there, and maybe from the Sword Coast. You're not too sure where, but there's a few different like little pronunciations, different like little
things,
very little things. Turns of phrases, little things like that. Judging by the mud on his shoes that you saw just a little bit, you can tell that that he actually has a place in El Boulder that is essentially his, like, it's the gathering hall of where they are. There's some sawdust there, so you have El Boulder, and you can pretty much tell you based on your previous when you went through there before, you think you have a pretty good idea of where that was. Okay.
That's item 1. Financial information.
Financial information. He's well dressed, more well dressed, better dressed than someone should be, given what little you know about his station there. If he's just part of the civic organization, he's not dressed as like a well-to-do merchant. But you also think, just by looking at certain details, that perhaps this was purposefully done. That he kind of dressed down. He wanted to make himself look appropriate for this. He didn't want to come in looking like a pauper because you don't think his personality would allow him to look like a pauper. He is very concerned with how people think of him. But you think that he might have a little bit more coin to his name than he is letting on. Again, not wealthy merchant, but slightly below that.
Perhaps.
Given the fact that he has, looking at his hands, he does look like he has a laborer's hands. You don't necessarily think that all the money is his.
So a patron.
And as far as the number of allies, given his swagger, he has probably at most a dozen loyal members of this organization. You think that any other numbers that are in there might not be as loyal. They might have been peer pressured in. They might
lip service.
They're doing it because, hey, I need to do what I need to do to make things work for me here. They might not truly be bought into the philosophy, but you don't think that you can't speak to their influence, but you think that there might be as many as a dozen.
Delightful.
So, do your intimidation check now with advantage.
Okay. I'm a little worried now. I used my natural 20 on that insight check. I'm gonna pull like a double one. Oh my god.
Did you just crit
Double
again?
one?
No, I'm gonna pick up my camera and point it at my dice tray.
Okay.
And you tell me if it like resolves clearly.
Okay, here we go. Closer, 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 closer. I see a 20.
And a 9. Wait, is that a 9 or a jack die?
That's a 9.
That's a 9.
Okay.
Okay. He has officially reached pucker factor 10. And in response, like the flop sweat has started. So this is like when you have like a really racist person who is also really lame, who accidentally pulls into what they think is a bad neighborhood. And they realize it because now they're out of gas. This is the kind of person that would have this is the kind of person that would have a certain politician sticker all over their car, but they run out of gas in the middle of like North Philly.
Bad choice.
Yeah, it's
bad
like,
choice.
So he immediately like stands up, he pushes the chair back, and you can see he's just about to draw a dagger from his clothes. But as this happens, the second he stands up, a hand grasps his wrist, and there is a knife at his throat. And Tadell Swift says to him, "It's best you sit down and be quiet." And
like the smile is still on Hugon's face.
And
he just gestures, just please.
She pulls the wrist away, and she's like, "Drop it." And it clatters like the second it comes out of her mouth. He sits down. She lets go of his wrist. She sheathes the knife again and steps back into the shadows.
And without even looking at Tadell, he's like, "We'll discuss this later."
And now there's just like a panicked look on Kaelus's face.
You are too easy to read to be doing this job. Do you understand that? Do you understand the level of danger that you are placing yourself in by adhering to these outmoded and frankly stupid ideologies? Do you understand just how fine a line you are treading to banditry? Do you grasp that the person funding your little band in that tiny building in Elboulder, just how little they care about you? I wonder if you had even considered the reality that they probably sent you here to be killed. Consider these things before you say yes to another job like this. Now, we're negotiating under good faith. I have no interest in doing someone else's dirty work for them. I invite you to go back to Elboulder. I invite you to inform your little brotherhood of 12 men and women to perhaps...
There's more than that.
No, there isn't. Don't lie to me. Don't be a fool.
I have dozens of loyal people.
You have dozens of people who perhaps, if knife to their throat as one just was to yours, would roll over. You have maybe a dozen people who would spit in my face and tell me to kill them. I think that you're going to survive your trip back to Elboulder. I'll make sure of it. I'll send my own people with you, just to make sure. Mm-hmm. Because I want you to survive. I really do. I really want you to go back to El Boulder. And I really want you to explain to your friends just how bad an idea it is to mess with us. Do you understand me?
And
Do we
he's like-
have an accord?
He's like flop sweat, pale. He's like
Shaking.
Yeah, he's like the hands are. There's a shake in the hands. He's kind of got the cotton mouth thing going on. He's like, trying to come up with his words. And as he's doing that, you hear a soft knock at the door.
Who is it?
And it peeks in, and it's one of your spies. And
Yes.
I think, should I? She cracks open the door, and she's got someone with a red band around their thing.
Oh. And Hugon does the literal. Oh.
And she's like, should I leave him here with you?
Is he in all of his pieces?
He has all of his pieces. Both of them do.
And he looks back.
And the door opens more, and there's another one of your spies, and they have like two of these guys like racked up.
Oh. What's your name again? I don't even remember.
I'm sorry, this is the DM laughing because I love
No,
this. This is
Gideon
wonderful.
remembers.
This is wonderful. No. This is no. I know what you're doing, and it's wonderful. I love this. And he's like, Kalis.
Kalis? Kalis. Kalis. We invited you here in good faith. And you told us, do you remember what you told us, that you were coming alone? That you weren't bringing any of your little people? That you weren't going to do that? Do you remember that conversation?
She like elbows the one. She's like, that one was down trying to get down to the dungeons.
Oh.
This one had some flyers.
Did you collect the flyers?
I think they accidentally fell into a fire.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame.
That's a shame. Kalis, I'm gonna just be honest with you here. They wanted you to fail. Whoever sent you here expected this to happen. And they expected you to wind up with your head on a spike in my training yard as an example of how not to infiltrate a town. They expected me to reach across this table and choke the life from your body for being a reprehensible, wicked, stupid man. And I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. And I strongly suggest you don't give me cause to give them the satisfaction. Do we understand each other?
And he gives like a nod. Like he's like, at this point, it's like he's like trying to stare like past you. He doesn't want to make eye contact with you, and it's just like this is.
Now,
yeah.
Before you stain our seat with whatever fear piss you have left in your body, why don't you come clean and tell me who you are working for? Really working for? Who bankrolled your trip here? Who bankrolled those clothes?
I don't know his name.
Kalis.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Thunuk has heard you say I was going to reach across this table and strangle you. And he's like, this table is really wide. He starts reaching across the table to see if he can strangle the guy. This is not an intentional. I just like, I wanted to roll an intimidation check, but he's not intimidating anyone.
No, do it. Do it.
But so this is the only way I can think of him like to do something like that. So he's like,
as Thunuk is reaching across the table, I'm gonna reach across, but with a glass of water, like a cup of water.
Just slide it. Just
yeah, like I'm handing him water, and then as Thunuk is reaching across.
So he like flinches. He flinches like you reach across with just the water. Ah! He's one of those. And then, oh my god! And as he starts to back up, he's like trying to get out of the seat. There's Tadell is just right behind him, just hand on the shoulder, down. And
it's just water.
Boop.
It's amazing. It's every bit of that was amazing.
Yeah, he's.
You'll have to forgive my youngest trainee here. She's excitable. She's only 10.
And he like.
Or wait, are you 11 now, Tadao?
Not quite.
Not quite. 10. You know, children. I hope you'll forgive her.
And he's like nervously looking over his shoulder, and he's like,
and he's like, no.
Yeah. And he's like, look, see, Thunuk, giant hand, like.
And Hugon does the like hand down, please.
And he's just like, oh, I
think you might have actually been able to reach.
Probably.
Oh, absolutely. Like, palm his face. Just, yeah, I can do it.
He says, I don't know, what I don't know what his name was, but he was, it was very handsome, and he, I felt very nervous around him, and he had a companion with him. He was young. His companion was older, white hair. The younger one that gave us the money and said he supported our cause. He very charismatic. He had very nice things to say. The other one scared the shit out of me. Not like this. Not
Blackguards generally do scare the shit out of people.
He had a very gravelly voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're familiar with us.
Oh, like he needed a lozenge?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's a jerk.
And he waves his 2 spies. Hugon waves his 2 spies at the door to bring the 2 in.
Mm-hmm. And they dump him in, and like.
And so Hugon stands from the table and says, "You stay seated, Kalis. Just relax." And he goes over to the one that was trying to sneak into the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me and says, "I'm disappointed. I expected you all to be more of a challenge. How this is going to work is I'm going to ask you what you were going to do when you got to the dungeon. And every time I think that you are not telling me the truth, I'm going to break one of your fingers. You have 10 chances to tell me the truth. I strongly urge you to not lie to me."
Persuasion check. Persuasion or intimidation? I almost think this would be a persuasion.
This is persuasion.
Persuasion.
That is significantly worse than a 20. However,
where's my dice here?
I'm not adding proficiency to this.
Okay.
So this is a 10.
Okay. Okay. He says...
Bardic inspiration. I was muted.
Oh.
What do I add to that? D6?
A D8.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Get my pumpkin out.
Sorry, I was muted.
Sorry. I did not go into the tray. That fell out of the tray. Sorry. All right. That is a 14. Total of a 14.
I wasn't going to do shit. I wasn't even trying to break in. I don't know what the fuck they were bringing me in here for.
Can I roll?
You're violating my rights. As a sovereign citizen, I'm allowed to go where I want, without requiring papers from the state or you or anyone else.
Okay, well, and Hugon grabs his wrist and snaps his pinky.
And there is screaming because
you have 9 more chances. What were you doing in jail?
We were told to get the guy, the Lord that you guys have here. We're told to get him out.
Oh, okay. The next question. How many of you are in town?
Just the 2 of us. I swear.
Do I detect a lie there? Or rather, does anyone in the room detect a lie, I should say?
Oh, wait. Does Hugon say that out loud? Do I detect a lie?
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, he's being a bit performative.
Oh, hold on. Let me fix that real quick. And he, Thunuk begins to utter the prayer of Zone of Truth.
So, okay, Zone of Truth. No, there's only the two of us. We were told to sneak in.
By Kalis?
Yeah. Yeah, he said we should come here and try to get out. It was all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan. He was here to distract you. He was going to hand out the flyers, and then I was going to sneak in. Distractions.
Good. This is good knowledge.
I don't even know him. The guy with the flyers. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before.
And so Hugon like swivels over to the guy with the flyers. Hello.
Hello?
I trust that you believe me when I say that I'm going to break your fingers if you lie to me.
I do.
Do you know these men? These other red bands?
I gotta be honest, I was hired for a job. I needed a few extra coins, and they said, come on over and hand out some flyers. And I did. I don't know what they say. I can't read.
Fair enough.
I am sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm just trying to make ends meet. And I cheated on my wife. Why? Shit.
It's not what I'm concerned about.
Thank you.
And so Hugon like thumps on the door, and hopefully a spy answers it.
Oh yes. I had her name written down. It was the one that actually had beaten Tadell Swift in the when you guys.
I don't remember her name either. Damn
I
it.
had it written down somewhere. I'll dig it up.
We'll find it.
But but it's perhaps she has taken a new name now that she is a spy.
Maybe. Could you be so kind as to take these two men to a temporary holding cell?
And she and the other spy grab them in the proper controlling manner that they were taught, and drag them up and away.
Yeah. And Hugon just sighs and looks to Eno and Thunuk, and I'm sorry you had to listen to him as long as you did. I needed time to dissect him. And I used you to make him uncomfortable. And that was wrong. That it worked was convenient.
Can I just say, as you're talking about, Kalis was being dragged out, right?
No.
No, the two spies.
The two spies.
Oh, the two spies.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kalis is still here.
He's still
Kalis
there?
is still-
Okay. Sorry.
And without really sitting back down, and Hugon sort of just turns back to Kalis and says, you're leaving tonight. And like I said, you are going to make it back to El Boulder. I expect that trade will resume unmolested by you and your band. And if it does not, I will come and I will make it resume. Do you understand me?
And it's like this sort of again, he tries to speak, but it's just there is zero moisture in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
This is an arid zone right
This
here.
is a steppe desert.
And
Dry.
Dry. Yeah. It's just like this.
I cannot control whether or not you drop this poisonous ideology that you have. But I strongly suggest that you do. Because it's going to get you killed. Tadell, get him out of my sight.
And she very politely says, This way, sir. Like sweet as anything. Just you almost feel like you need to brush your teeth afterwards, just with how much sugar.
How saccharine it is.
So, and she escorts him out back to the lodgings that had been arranged. The guard falls in behind her.
But as he's at the threshold, I turn to Thunuk and I say, "You know what? He's right. It smells better already."
He can see his back stiffen, but like does not turn around. He marches out to Del Swift, just very calmly, hands behind her back, just walking behind him. And the guards, the honor guard.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and he's escorted off to his lodgings.
What do you think? Should I ask the council to declare the Red Bands bandits?
Well, it's all you gotta do is add 2 letters.
I know. That's what I'm That's what I'm thinking about.
The Red Bandits.
That's 3 letters. It's
but they already got an S. Bands, Red Bands. So
yeah.
just bandits.
Otherwise,
it would be easy, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Just.
They did technically steal.
I know they did, and they tried to intimidate a government official. I'll bring it up with the council.
Oh, what is this world coming to?
Oh, what a world.
Thank you for being in the meeting. Again, I apologize for having used you in that way.
I don't feel used.
When that happened.
And Hugon goes, fair enough.
You wouldn't even drink the water.
Right.
It seemed a bit parched. You should have drank the water.
He should have. Yeah.
He might not be feeling well. I should go look at him and make sure he's not sick.
No, I think you should. I think he's okay. I think maybe
Okay.
we shouldn't associate ourselves with him at all, ever. Man, being a government official is hard.
It looks like it.
Because now I'm trying to decide if I just want them all assassinated.
Zone of Truth is still running.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute spell.
Yeah, and like Hugon is just sort of like, now he's just talking. It would be really easy to have them all killed.
It would be, but that would be rude.
Well, would it though?
Technically, yes. I mean, that.
But they're jerks, though. They're bad. They're bad jerks.
They are bad jerks.
They are bad jerks, but I mean, yeah. It's not like they're trying to eat you.
Yet.
They would eat us.
No, but they probably do worse. They wouldn't even eat us. They just kill us and leave us. You know, like how you're supposed to eat the things that you kill.
Oh yeah,
They wouldn't even
common sense.
Right.
Oh.
They wouldn't even have the dignity to do that. You know.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, they are dumb. They are dumb, and I really believe that they deserve to die. But we'll leave it up to the council.
Okay. They're probably supposed to make decisions like that.
They really are. It would be wrong to make a unilateral decision like that without consulting them first. It would be fun though.
Unilateral. Like a one ladder sided ladder.
Sure.
Thing?
Sure.
That's not going to stand up very well.
No, it won't. See, and a unilateral decision is unstable.
That makes a lot of sense. Somebody must have decided to stand on a one stick ladder once.
Right, and see that it doesn't really work too well.
No.
That's why there's multiple members on the council, I think.
Like a ladder with a lot of legs.
Like a ladder with a very large amount of legs. Yes, like 8 legs instead of 2.
It's a bit overkill, but it'll be a very stable ladder.
But a very stable ladder. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go talk to them. I don't think you all need to be bothered with that unless you want to.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I figured you would be.
Yeah, Thunuk, let's get something to eat.
Okay.
Maybe there's a ladder in the larder.
Why would you keep a ladder in the larder?
What if it's an enormous larder?
Yeah, if the shelves are really tall. Yeah.
And there's a lot of food.
Something the whole team can agree on.
Yeah.
A big larder is a good larder.
I imagine Hugon has an absolute shitload of paperwork to do because of this.
Yeah, there's probably some forms that need to be filled out now.
God damn it.
There's some forms. Well, listen, it's your joy has a cost. It has a price.
It's true.
And
it's
it
true.
is paperwork.
It is paperwork.
And I had Buck in my bag recording that whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Also.
Wow. I love it.
That's quality espionage.
I like it. So you have this for future reference.
Yeah.
Yes, I like this. So Eno retires to his office to start doing paperwork.
Well, Hugon does.
Hugon, I'm sorry. Eno doesn't do
I mean, Eno can do paperwork too if he wants.
No, Hugon does that. Eno and Thunuk, you guys start working your way back to... where would you grab a bite to eat? Are you going back to the Silvered Harrier, or are you going to try one of the other eateries in town? There is more than one.
Thunuk is daydreaming about this magically large larder now.
Going back to that reoccurring dream.
Oh, yeah.
Just rolling around in the food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, food dream. Oh.
So, Thunuk, what's good to eat around here? We always go to the same place. I mean, not that it's bad or anything.
That's right. We've been really active since Eno joined us, so he would not have gone to like the food trucks or
Groom Shrooms.
Well, you got Groom Shrooms, which is right outside the Silvered Harrier. So there's that. You've got there's a Neverwintering place that serves sort of like northern fare. A lot of comfort food. A lot of like you got to think in the cold north, even though Neverwinter itself is warm, it's still gonna be influenced by the surrounding area that isn't as warm. And so there's there's a Neverwintering place that is a lot of thick, steamy comfort food that you've heard of.
Is there a branch of the Yum Yum Hut? As I'm in chat right now, Dark Shadow's like a Yum Yum Hut branch just opened up.
It still has the coming soon sign on it.
Oh.
It's like the franchise is still, but
It's
because
getting there.
But because the supplies have been running so slow, they've had delays in building out the place.
Well, we can't have that.
No, so Dinar's Yum Yum Hut will be opening very soon. And it is a bit nippy out. It is fall. It is starting to be fall, so it is a little nippier out than usual. Not
Thunuk
cold.
is not familiar with Neverwinter in food. And I suspect, since he has not been there, he would suggest it. And he would horribly mangle the Neverwinterian. Probably like Navarwinter or something like that. Or seldom fall. There's a seldom fall or autumn, sort of autumn, mostly spring, something restaurant food place.
I rolled a 5. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I just say, yeah, all right, that sounds great.
So,
all right.
Check it out.
So this place is on the road that actually leads up into the mountains. Still within Pinedale, but it's leading in that direction. So it's a little bit closer to the nicer part of town. And when you get there, it's actually kind of a standalone place. It's actually it's a 2-floor eatery. There is outdoor dining, and right now, actually today would be a perfect day for al fresco dining because it's
pretty nice outside here.
Yeah, it's not too hot, not too cold. And so and it's called the Knight's Ferry. The name of this particular eatery.
The Knight's Ferry, like jousting and a ferry, or a ferry
Like a
of the
boat.
night, or
Like a boat.
a boat. A boat at night.
At night.
Okay.
So yeah, the inscription on the sign hanging out front is a ferryman, not the Death's ferryman. Not that one. That's not good.
not Charon.
Yeah,
Not Charon's.
You don't
ferry.
want that as the symbol of your restaurant, right? But no, it looks like a ferryman, like he's working the pole. He's got the lantern. It's very nicely carved. It's very nicely how they did that. Very nice how they did that. And so when you get in, you're met with a variety of wonderful smells, and they find some seating for you up on the upper deck, overlooking the road. So there's various things there. So they have, oh, you guys get all your specials back. Thank you, JD Lady.
Oh.
And that means I have to use one of my dark inspiration die.
Uh-oh.
So no, but remember, it can go good or bad.
Okay.
I mean, it's dark. I mean,
it could be like
It comes from a dark place.
the inspiration, the dark inspiration you should cheer is like, oh, everything's super expensive, but you've already ordered.
So
no.
F.
So well, first of all, we'll get
The
part
menu
of this.
has no prices.
Oh no, that's the worst.
It is the worst.
Jesus.
Oh, I
That
hate
is the worst.
shit.
I've got my loot. So
But when you sit down, so there's a few things on the menu. They have various stews.
Ooh.
They have chilies there.
Oh.
For dessert, it does sound like it smells something apple cinnamon, which that is the smell of fall. I'm sorry, it just is. Pumpkin spice, what? Forget that. I want apples. I want cinnamon. I want clove.
The camps are divided.
But there was something you did notice as well that potentially grabbed your attention. So they had the various pots bubbling away, simmering away with all the different things in them. But they did have like this mechanism that looked like it had some kind of heated stone in it, and a wheel of cheese sitting underneath it. And you see one of the patrons had ordered it, and they basically bring over a little bowl, or actually not so little bowl, filled with sliced potatoes that have been roasted. And you see them just take the cheese out, they take a knife, and they just wipe the top of the cheese down on top of it, and it just pours molten cheese on top of these potatoes. And you can see like a few of them being delivered to the
Bad episode to have a food thing because I'm so hungry right now.
So, and there's various meads that they have there, spiced ciders, alcoholic and not. So let's get through the order. I'm kind of curious as to what the guys would order, because it is eat, drink, roll, and we always end up devolving into a food discussion.
Of course.
I get the feeling that this is a cold weather food, so it's probably not something frequently seen here.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing cheesy things. Do they have beer cheese soup?
Oh,
They do have a cheese soup.
I'm sorry. I just had an enormous wave of nostalgia. Wow, that was wild. Huh. Moving on.
They do have cheese soup. And a variety of spicy sauces that you can put in them if necessary. And of course bread, for dipping.
I think Thunuk is going to treat this menu like you would a sushi order menu, and just start checking things off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I want that. He points out what happened with the potatoes and the cheese, and
Whatever happened there.
I want a bowl of this and a bowl of that, and 3 mugs of that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
And for some reason in my head, I just imagine like Saint Bernard level, just like.
If you ever see Turner and Hooch,
Yep.
Tom Hanks movie from the
Mhm.
80s, yeah, that
Just
amount of slobber is
everywhere.
happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Eno, what will Eno be ordering after you've seen Thunuk order like the lumberjack special?
Without looking up from my menu.
Oh wait, no, hang on, wait. Before you order, I'm sorry. Before you order, when you order out of that Thunuk, they go, "Oh, the Thunuk special. Okay, the Thunuk platter."
Yeah.
He has a platter.
And without looking up from my menu, I hand Thunuk a towel. I'm just.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's
and he knows exactly what it's for.
It's in the go bag.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
And I look at the waiter. Is it waiter or waitress?
Waitress.
I look at the waitress and I say, "How's the lamb stew?"
Oh, one of those, please.
The Thunuk platter plus an Eno. The Eno is. I'm sorry. The lamb stew is excellent. And as you look through the menu, you can actually see that there's like items on the menu named after you guys.
Like,
there's
and I don't. It doesn't click in until she says that.
There's a sandwich in there called the Valander, and it is toasted sourdough bread, cheese, and it looks kind of like a sharp cheddar type cheese. And the description describes a like pile of thinly shaved, rare roast beef.
Okay. The only way roast beef should be eaten.
And egg.
Okay.
Gently scrambled egg.
All right.
Piled on. So it's just it'll feed you for the day, and it's a mess.
I think I'd want a side of mushroom gravy with that.
So I'll have the lamb stew.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have one of those potato things, and bring me your darkest stout.
Excellent. We'll have to name the stout later. I'm making a note of that. We'll do that in a table talk, because that way we can get the chat involved for what we're going to name the stout. So we'll do that. But so you sit down, you make your order, you're sitting, just kind of enjoying. There's a nice breeze. You're able to get, you're still a little higher up because it's a little bit higher up the hill going up into the mountains. So you actually can see a little bit better. You can actually start to see some of the treetops. And you can see over for the Chandawood. And you can look down, you can see the construction on the bridge. You can see all the folks working on that. You can barely hear the sounds of hammering and sawing ever so slightly on whenever the breeze happens to travel, in that direction. Beyond that, you can see the Chandawood, and every now and again you see just little bits of the color starting to change in the trees. It's very calming and peaceful. There's the sounds coming from the mine. From where you are, you can hear some of the blacksmiths. You can hear the smithies. You can hear the sounds of the hammers on anvils, and it's nice to see Pinedale in the state of just sort of normalcy. No gnolls attacking, nothing, no meanlocks clawing their way through the surface. Just a normal fall day in Pinedale. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I would turn to Thunuk and I say, Thunuk, are we getting any residuals for them using our name in this menu?
These are our names?
Yeah, look, your name is in here like 25 times.
Oh.
For everything that's on the Thunuk platter.
Just thought it was someone
Or it's
else.
like a portion size. It's like Thunuk portion.
Yeah. I need the burger, but I need a Thunuk size.
I
Small, medium, large, or Thunuk?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I thought that was just a coincidence.
I mean, so when I'm looking through this, did they use the words Acquisitions Incorporated anywhere in the
No,
menu?
no,
Just our names.
No. They're very careful about that.
All right.
I mean, we should probably be getting residuals.
Yeah, so no, I say, well, I mean, I feel like we need to work out a licensing deal. I mean,
yeah. I think I'm not there, but I think that you're correct. You get the sense that you can agree.
I say, let's make a mental note. We'll take that back. We'll table that.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Are you sure it's just not a coincidence?
I don't think it's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence.
Huh.
Oh no.
So the plates start arriving, steaming, luxurious in their smells. The aroma alone a treat. Melted cheese oozing into the potatoes. And you guys start to tuck into your meals here.
Nice.
And as you're doing this, you're sitting on it's on this deck. You're able to just look out and see, and you see a figure, a small figure, walking down the road from higher up in the mountains. And as we mentioned before, up higher up in the mountains, that's kind of where the farming. It's more agrarian up there. Not so much like where they're growing huge tracts of like wheat and all that, enough to supply. This is more like, it's more like sustenance for the town. It's not like they're not really exporting any of that. But they're growing hops up there. Some of that does get exported.
Nice.
Coffee beans, some of that definitely gets exported. And there's there further up in the mountains, somewhere there's a dwarven enclave, because it's mountains. Things. But
what's a mountain without dwarves?
Right? I mean, listen, it's real estate.
Being one of the few, like being a solo mountain, like we're not in a mountain range. We're on like a lonely mountain scenario. So it would make a lot of sense, being that this is a close to surface mithril vein. Yeah, probably dwarves here.
So, but you see this figure walking down the path. Give me a perception check.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's going to be 7.
Bardic inspiration.
You think nothing of it. And you continue your meal.
Okay.
And then you look up again, you see the figure is much closer this time. But they're stumbling. They're not walking necessarily under their full power. Like they might be hurt or exhausted or both. And you look over, and Thunuk, give me a perception check. 14. You notice, like kind of constantly, like kind of looking over your shoulder, because it's like there's only this one person on the path. And you look over, and you see this person who appears to be injured and exhausted walking down the path. And as they get closer, the clothes that they seem to be wearing, the clothes that they are wearing, look reminiscent of the robes that you would see the shadow monks wear. The ones from the monastery where you had gone and done things to their food.
Poisoned them. Wait, what?
Never, ever. Have we ever? Nope.
Never happened. Can't prove it.
How far away is he? He's up the mountain, or near?
He's coming down this road that leads up to where those settlements are. And you can see he's having difficulty. Like every few steps, he's like stumbling, and he's like trying to maintain his footing. Sometimes the gravel starts to go out from underneath him, and he slides a little bit.
One second. That doesn't work at all.
This plan was bad, and I regret it.
Is he within? Is he within? He's not within 30 feet. He's quite a distance away.
Not yet. He's probably 60, 70 feet away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't heal him from a distance.
From a distance.
I don't want to stop eating, so heal.
Say he's 60 feet away.
Yeah.
Healing word 60 feet.
Healing word is 60 feet.
Well,
it's also no. It doesn't sound right.
It's range 60.
Feel better.
Hey, you okay?
Oh,
chin up.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
You want a soda?
Why not healing word?
Okay, why not?
Why not a healing word?
Why not a healing word? What happened to it? Where did you go? You were just here a second ago.
No. What would Thunuk yell for the healing word?
He would not.
No.
It would be a prayer. It's just that he'd be concentrating very hard on this guy in the distance while praying to make sure it got to him. And I don't have to roll anything.
It just
Okay.
happens. So
Just
what's
happens.
the Yeah, that guy's in a
roll-
ranged
roll for
attack.
heal.
You missed, but you healed the bad guy.
Damn it!
It's a D4 plus
Whatever level
4.
you
Uh,
cast it at, also.
oh, that's right. Hold on a second. Let me fix this real quick. Healing word. It's just going to be level 1 because I imagine this is an NPC, therefore he is minimal HP.
If he dies, he dies. I mean, let's face it.
But 6 points.
6 points. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do this little prayer, and does it have any visual component that you would imagine the way that when Thunuk cast this?
It is vocal only.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically just him holding his holy symbol
Okay.
and praying to spring and winter,
Mm-hmm.
asking winter to pass, and spring to come and rejuvenate this individual.
And you see, kind of out of the corner of your eye, it almost seems like a dire wolf walks away. In your own vision, no one else can see it, but you see like the snowy white dire wolf walk away, and a hummingbird sort of zips around, and the monk starts to look a little bit better. He's walking a little straighter. His gait's a little bit stronger. His robes are tattered and torn. You can see that they're blood-soaked in certain areas, maybe from his previous injuries. You're not sure, but as he approaches, you recognize him. This is your friend, the one who was supposed to meet you.
No way. Like as soon as I noticed that, I get up, I go, excuse me for a minute, and I kind of put down my utensil, and I get up from the table, and I kind of go right towards him.
Mm-hmm. Like over the side of the deck. Like do you just like freaking Wesley Snipes over the side of this thing?
Peter Pan.
Yeah, I'm on the second floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped down from the second floor.
Okay.
Nice.
Give me a dex check.
Okay.
See if he sticks the landing.
Do bards get acrobatics?
Okay, so that's going to be a 16.
Okay, you stick the landing.
Okay.
Let's see how...
So I kind of rush over
Mhm.
to him, and I'm like, and I say, Alexi?
He's like, my friend,
Alexi.
how did I get here?
How did you get here?
I don't know. How did I get here?
How did you get here?
How did I get here? How did you get here? Where's here?
It's a long story. We're in Pinedale. It's in the Chandlewood.
Shut up. No, you got to Pinedale. We're in Pinedale? Oh, God.
We're in Pinedale.
No, shut up. I'm going to ask him. How long have we been here?
We?
God, there's some explaining to do. I can't remember.
I got an 18 perception. Is it just him?
It is just him.
I don't see anybody else.
You see nobody else.
Okay. I said, yeah, you're safe. You're safe now. You're totally safe. Look, I've got a place.
And I'm safe?
You're safe.
And he just passes out.
And I push the button and I say Thunuk, and then my armor comes up. The voice.
God damn
And
it.
I'm like, fuck.
And that's where we end the game. I think that's the perfect place. Fuck! And then cut the credits.
That's good.
That is our game this week. Hey, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. JD Lady is back to being the stream boss. Thank you very much, JD Lady, for that. Rush Dark Shadow, thank you very, very much for the mega cheer.
Super cheer.
Mega cheer.
Mega cheer.
Thank you very much for that. We are going to be.
We got a new emote for that.
We have a new.
Well, it says. Oh no! It says only visible to you. I got a new emote for that. Thank you.
Yeah,
I got a treasure chest.
Yeah, I saw something in there. Hey,
it says fat loot.
So we're going to take the briefest of breaks and come back for table talk, where among discussing our favorite moments of the game, because it has been a little bit and we have some cool things happen here, we have a darkest stout that we need to name. And we're going to need your help in the chat for what we're going to name this thing. So we will be right back with table talk. Stick around. All right, so what we were just talking about. No, we're not going to talk about that.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
It's very, very gross.
Yes.
We'll save it for Vikings and Saints because it belongs there.
Do we gotta?
No,
I guess we
don't.
do. It's the sort of thing
Let's
we
not
might
talk
talk about on there.
Okay, no, I got to roll my mystical D4,
Okay.
which always disappears. That's why it's mystical, and that'll determine which quadrant we
Oh,
start.
You will
okay.
be,
I was like, what the hell are
I
we
was like,
doing?
what's happening to
This
us?
is how we did.
Yeah, no,
you
you're right.
will be
It is.
taking the point of quadrant
This
4.
is who dies. No.
Oh, God.
Quadrant 3. So, Raz.
All right, I'll just roll a new character then.
No,
What?
No, with D&D Beyond, it
Oh.
could be easier.
That's true. I'll just hit the random button. So this is what play of the game, Mr.
Yeah.
MVP.
Favorite moment? Yeah.
Favorite moment, MVP,
All right.
employee of the week.
I'd have to give it to Tidal Swift because it was
Yeah.
completely unexpected that she was gonna pop out of the shadow and be like, sit down.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, that was good.
Maybe don't.
But if I have to give it, well, I'm not saying have to, but I would say, player wise, I'd have to give it to Hugon, to Gideon, for the way that he dealt with Kalis. That was awesome. That whole scene was great.
Okay.
I got to admit that I was not sure if Kalis was going to survive that meeting.
I wasn't sure he was going to survive that meeting. Let's move in a counterclockwise.
Oh, me.
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise. Ooh,
Anti.
goodness.
Not uncle. Auntie.
Anti-clockwise.
There are a lot of good moments here.
Well, I mean, the best moment is that we got to play D&D again after.
Well,
a month,
yes,
so...
of course.
But aside from that,
Thunuk trying to palm Kalis'
Yes.
head just to see if he could reach across the table. That was pretty amazing.
And it wasn't even that he was trying to reach. He was trying to see if you could reach. So he's keeping his arm like slightly shorter than like
Just
not
like,
fully extending.
What if he leaned forward? No.
could you?
It was good. That was a really good moment. Also, Spudlord is like Thunuk receiving the title of Spudlord.
Yes.
Good. Potato parkour, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Really, all my favorite moments came from Thunuk.
Okay.
Danka.
Parkour.
Anti-clockwise we go.
Oh, oh, uh, NPC. Let's do the NPC first. I like this whole NPC player character.
I didn't actually think about the NPC.
Would you like to think on that while I do mine, or I'll do mine and you can.
The guy who's like, I cheated on my wife.
Yeah,
he was great. Yeah,
that was good.
Zone of truth.
Zone of truth.
Zone of truth.
This mystery friend has finally made their debut. As I'm covering both my NPC and PC here, I'm super thrilled by this.
Alexi?
Yeah, Alexi. Mystery friend has appeared. This is I'm super thrilled. And that then followed up with the wrong button push. Yeah.
It's on brand.
Always a great way to...
Deeply on brand.
Yeah.
Chef kiss on brand.
The Tadell thing was fun. I had that in my mind, and I was trying, how am I going to work this in? And then
I'm going to harass her about that later.
You guys made the perfect entree for that. With the triple intimidation.
That was pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And I just, in my mind, she's just a little Maisie Williams. She's just a little...
Yeah. A little too excited. She's a little excited.
She's a Stark. She's a Stark.
She got a little excited, is all.
But I think the favorite moment was with the total discussion of not only have we now unlocked the fact that there is going to be a skill tree for outcome management solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And the first track is always personal excellence track 1, which is basically you need to go through like the introductory training course to get to. So it's like, it's like operating Thetan level 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the fact that we crowdsourced the name of sub-specialist proto-intern level 1. And then by accident, it spells spy. SSPI. Spy. I love it.
And you have to say that extra S.
Spy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely essential.
Linger on the S.
And that we got so deep at one point that we threw all the acronyms into like a single 30 seconds, and I can't wait to share that with Jerry because I think he would love the tastiness of
OMS. Pet 1 graduates.
Pet 1 graduates. SSPI.
SSPI.
SSPI 1s.
It's amazing.
Yes.
We are such terrible people.
But very clearly, we're all very qualified to work somewhere in corporate America because this is how it all.
I'm waiting to be able to drop the phrase longitudinal adaptability in a sentence here.
God. No, I actually managed to think that one out during a meeting recently, and it was applicable to the situation.
Amazing.
I was not pleased.
I don't even know what it means. I just like saying it.
I like it. It has a nice little.
Oh, there's another one.
It has some syllables in there.
It just basically means we can use this somewhere else later.
Mm-hmm.
Longitudinal adaptability. Oh, you mean you mean use it someplace else?
Yeah.
You mean a different department can use it?
You mean that you just created a long multi-syllable sentence when you didn't need to, so that you could feel.
Because it's corporate America, it can never be simple solutions to anything. It's got to sound way more complicated. Other than, hey, why don't we just stop doing that? We need to cease operations with this particular project.
I think my favorite was leadership-effectiveness.
What?
Like, not leadership effectiveness, not effectiveness of leadership effectiveness. Leadership-effectiveness.
That's got to stop right now.
That was on a coffee mug at my old job.
Oh my God. I'm glad you're not at that old job anymore.
Oh, we mocked that mug incessantly.
That sounds like a mug you get at a conference where they're just like, yeah, we have to put something on there.
Something. Leadership effectiveness. This is stupid. All right. So we've done our favorite moments. We have, and we've nominated Alexi and Tadell for, we'll call it, we'll just call it Employee of the Year. And at the end of the year, we'll just decide who the Employee of the Year is.
Okay.
Okay. We have that. Okay. We have something more important to discuss, though. What are we going to name this darkest stout from a restaurant?
We don't know how what it tastes like. We can't say.
Just assumptions can be made.
Okay, let's know. Let's talk about what we know. Hops probably locally sourced, right? Probably. They probably did not. I can't imagine that Pinedale, with such a variety of hops available to them, are necessarily going to always. I mean, it's not going to say they're not going to import anything from Neverwinter or Waterdeep or anything. But generally speaking, the people there in Pinedale take pride in the beer that they brew. We know this.
Oh yeah.
So we know this. So, but they have a variety of hops available to them. We know it's a very the darkest stout that was available at a restaurant that specializes in comfort food, specifically comfort food with a Neverwinterian slant to it.
Given the proximity to cocoa tree farms,
Okay.
so you can have fresh cacao nibs.
Okay. Now I'm writing all this down because what I eventually want to do is send this over to Benson.
So the proximity to fresh chocolate plantations, or
Okay.
Proximity to coffee plantations. I don't know, is plantation the correct word? In any case, places where you grow these things.
Yes. Okay.
Well, no, wait. Can you grow chocolate in these mountains?
Why not?
Chocolate's a subtropical plant, isn't it?
It's.
Are we
fairly-
subtropical?
No,
No.
we're
But there
temperate-
could be Mike. There could be
temperate
there could be
rainforest a little bit.
microclimes.
could be.
It's a world of freaking magic. They could be like, this is now a microclimate. I'm growing.
Okay, now
This is a valid point.
This is now canon. This is now canon. There is a small subtropical climate, like microclimate, within one of the valleys within the. This is the Fire Steep, right? Yeah, this we're on the southern, because the Mareth Watch are on the northern side of Chanda Wood, so this is the Fire Steep. There is a small, self-contained valley, much like the Savage Land of Marvel renown, where the temperature just happens to be it happens to be perfect for growing cacao.
Okay.
So we've established this. It's a very, very expensive ingredient though, because it's so remote
Unique.
and unique.
So proximity to chocolate, proximity to coffees, locally sourced hops, clientele being largely of a working variety, hardworking variety, comfort food restaurant. I would say that this is a almost not like deeply bitter, but a dark chocolate imperial stout.
I would like. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, since they have the character names for everything, that it might be something like Gem Weaver's Onyx.
Oh
So
my
it's like,
God, you're right.
yeah, because it's so like it's the darkest stout you've never seen a darker
Hugon
stout.
Soul.
No, come on.
No, I'm kidding.
Please. It's red. It's not dark.
A little rusty from all the iron, iron and blood.
There's a brewery in Pennsylvania that we managed to get every so often some of their stuff down here, called Weyerbacher.
I know of Weyerbacher, yeah.
They make a thing called the Sunday Mole Stout, which is a derivative of their Sunday Morning Stout.
Oh.
Their description is coffee, chocolate, heat, and smokiness. It is one of my favorite spiced stouts. It's
That
just
sounds
hard to
amazing.
find.
That's not too far away from where I am right now. Easton. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's about an hour away.
It's very tasty, and we established that hot peppers are a thing here. Chocolate and coffee is a thing here. I feel like this would be what, like one of their dessert stouts might be like this. I'm not sure if this stout would be that, but this would be what desserts.
Well, we know chocolate and pepper goes together. If you have a dark chocolate and a pepper and a spicy pepper, that's actually like a complementary thing.
Yes.
Would it work in a beer? I don't know.
It does.
Okay.
But I guess the grand question here is that the ultimate question is that something Eno would like? What would Eno order?
Well, he is a tiefling.
He is a dark lad.
Wait, what was the ingredient? I got caught up in
So we're
the
saying
in the
dark
other chat.
chocolate, and so far we've been talking about dark chocolate and coffee, but then we're saying also some kind of hot pepper element to it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he would.
He'd be all
If
over
it
it.
has alcohol in it, he would try it. He's not like.
So now would the coffee and the pepper
Yeah.
play together? Chocolate,
Yes.
because chocolate,
Yeah,
chocolate
absolutely
and coffee
would.
play together. Okay.
Yes. Well, I mean, have you had mole? Mole is
Mole is
Chocolate
basically
and pepper.
it's chocolate, pepper, coffee, peanuts,
Okay.
or peanut butter.
it's
Mm.
delicious.
And then there's maybe some cinnamon in
Would
there,
there
and some
would there be
allspice
peanut
nutmeg.
butter in this stout? Would you have like a chocolate peanut butter, a spicy chocolate peanut
Oh.
butter stout?
You're making me.
Yeah,
To be
Hungry.
honest,
There's
the
peanut butter in my stout. Chocolate.
You
one.
got your stout and my peanut butter.
I have had a Reese's peanut butter stout before.
Yeah.
It's awful.
There
Don't
was
recommend it. It's too
Reese's.
Well-
Reese's in general is just garbage.
There's
As
Whoa, now, sir.
as not a candy. For anything else, like you
God
start
damn it.
putting that into other stuff.
There's one that we have around here that's called Sweet Baby Jesus, which is a chocolate peanut butter stout.
There was one coming out of Terrapin that was superior to this. I'm actually familiar with Sweet Baby Jesus. Terrapin beers out of Atlanta.
Wait, we have a
or Athens.
suggestion. We have a
Oh?
suggestion. Now, I'm not
I
sure if
do
it would
wanna
work
hear
for
chat.
this. Chad Flexington's Dark Yum Yum Ale.
Done.
I like it.
I like
Done.
it. Chad
canon.
Lexington.
Cannon. Cannon.
I
Cannon.
like it. So we're gonna call. So this one is going to be. So we've said it has cacao nibs, chocolate, coffee beans, hot pepper. Are we adding peanut butter to this?
No.
This is
Is that
starting
too
to
much?
sound like
No,
yeah,
too
that's
much.
too
That's
much.
too complicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
No peanut butter.
Okay. No peanut butter. And then we also said cinnamon. Would there be a hint of cinnamon in this? Too much.
With coffee and chocolate and pepper?
Too much.
Maybe too much. Maybe
No, that would actually, that's basically just mole right there.
like a very little amount of cinnamon.
Like
a
Doesn't
mole
need to be
beer.
a lot.
So just like so, you get like a back end finish of just a little. Like as you breathe out with the alcohol, you get that little taste of cinnamon with
Mhm.
it. Okay, so cinnamon.
Man, now I want the Mexican dark chocolate stout at my brewery that I like to go to now.
And we're gonna call this, I think,
Chad Flexington's.
Chad Flexington's Dark Yum Yum Ale.
Done. It's amazing.
I'm gonna write this down. Flexington's
What?
Dark.
There are JD Lady, you posted some stuff on the chat and turned into stars. Is that supposed to be a link?
Yeah, we should make it so that people who are subbed can link.
I don't know how to do that.
You'll
We'll
have to
figure
talk
it
to
out.
those.
Yeah, we'll
sorry,
figure it out.
JD.
It's an-
Fixed.
yeah. It's a Nightbot
Our
thing.
Nightbot Mancer is not here today.
But if you whisper it to me, I will share it.
Yeah, if you if you send it to one of us,
Because
we could share it as the.
we're mods, we can
yeah.
put links in there.
Yeah, do that. We will share that, JD Lady. Absolutely, we trust you. We trust you.
Catawba Brewing.
Catawba
Peanut
Brewing
butter
is
jelly
peanut butter
time.
jelly
Oh, I've
Peanut
had
butter
that. That's
jelly
actually
time,
pretty good.
peanut butter jelly time.
But that reminds me, the Terrapin, they stopped making this, and it was called Peanut Butter Bliss, or it was a porter,
Hmm.
and it was quite possibly one of the best peanut butter based drinks I'd ever had. And they had a hard time keeping it in stock, which you would think would mean they should continue making it.
They should do more.
Yes, but they stopped making it.
Mm.
So I'm saddened.
I just shared a link for. So so we have one there. Catawba Brewing. You know, we'll put these all into the weekly recs
Weekly
as
rec.
well
Yep.
on the Discord. So that way we can share things there. I put one in for Sweet Baby Jesus, which is a chocolate peanut butter porter, not a stout, a chocolate peanut butter porter by Dewclaw. Well, while we're here, while we have a few minutes here, any of the weekly recs, anything that we want to recommend to people besides these delicious, delicious beers that people are talking about? It could be animal, vegetable, or mineral. Food, drink.
Can it be anime?
Sure.
Sure, why not?
My
As long as it's not like a awful anime.
no. Well, this is kind of cutesy and also happy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It is a board gaming anime called.
Oh, you
After
told me
School.
about this. That's right. That's right.
First episode is up on Hulu right now because that's the only place it's airing. After School Dice Club. It's about some high schoolers who learn the joys of board games, and they have actual board games from reality in there. So when they're playing a game and learning how to play a game, they're learning how to play a game that actually exists that you can go and buy.
That's excellent.
It's a lot of fun.
That does sound excellent. I would recommend listening to the podcast Vikings and Saints.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, that's, you're stretching yourself there.
Yeah.
Be warned.
Don't watch the first two.
You'll listen to the first two. No, don't listen to the first. Oh, yeah, no.
But we had an amazing one we just did with Danny Hartel, and we did cheese.
Oh, so
and that
tasty.
was amazing. And then we did one with Robin Childs talking about scary creatures from movies and TV that steal your body and use it to their own ends.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just shameless self-promotion. But
how dare you?
How dare I? Carmen Sandiego just started their second season. They just released their second season on Netflix.
There's a second season?
Yeah, on Netflix. It just released on Friday. And it's very good. It's well done. The animation is fun. You get to hear Liam O'Brien be one of the bad guys. Which is basically the same voice that he uses in Critical Role. It is. It's his. Where are we going, sister? You know that. But he does it as this evil Scandinavian.
Sorry, evil Scandinavian made me laugh. I don't know. I haven't seen or done anything terribly cool, or like wanted to recommend anything for a minute. I'm not sure. Eat more ice cream would be my recommendation.
Yes.
Find ice cream and consume it.
Yes.
Because ice cream is delightful.
It is.
And it should be consumed.
It should be. I might have to get more. I have a Ben & Jerry's. It's sugar cookie core ice cream, and the ice cream itself has like almond extract. And it's wonderful.
No. It sounds awful. I'm sorry.
No, it's almond.
No.
It's wonderful.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
But yeah, I got nothing.
Ice cream. No, ice cream. Listen,
Ice cream.
you never go
Eat
wrong
ice
with it.
cream.
So, okay, you said ew with Ben & Jerry's. We're gonna probe this a little bit. What is, if you had to say, and it's okay. Listen, I'm not shaming you.
Okay.
For
All
that.
right.
What if you had to pick a favorite flavor of the moment? And I understand that can change on your mood, on the time of year, the weather. Of the moment, what would you say your favorite ice cream flavor would be? And if you have a specific brand that goes with it.
I like. Okay, this is a style of frozen treat, so it's not technically ice cream. It's custard. It's frozen custard.
Okay.
But I like lemon custard. That is my favorite of all time flavor of delectable frozen treat. I cannot not smile. It is an impossibility. I take one bite and my face is like Grinch mode, like rejoice. It's really funny, but it is the best
Okay.
ice cream for me.
Okay.
Favorite flavor.
And just to throw something in the air here, we are 2 months away from PAX Unplugged. And when you're there, I've always recommended Reading Terminal Market. And we all, obviously Byler's for donuts.
Of course.
Why wouldn't you? But there's a place there, Bassett's Ice Cream.
Bassett's is amazing.
Bassett's is the oldest creamery in the country. It has been operating at that location since during the Civil War. I think since 1863. It is considered. There was an article done somewhere out of New York, I think, and they were rating the best ice creams. And basically the way the article went, it said, "There's Bassett's, and then there's everything else."
Bassett's is good. I've had their ice cream. The first year I was at PAX, I had it.
Yes, it is delicious.
When I came to PAX Unplugged last year, we went out of our way to find this little Italian gelato joint.
Ooh.
It's a few blocks south. It's
closed.
Yeah, we were like, the line was out down the freaking block. And I don't understand how they could have gone out of business.
I think the guy who was running it, I don't think he was the best at business. He was the best at making gelato because he basically took the recipe. He went over to Italy, learned how to make the stuff, brought it back, and he only used milk from a certain dairy, from a certain kind of cow in Pennsylvania here. Everything was locally sourced, and it was very, very super secret, the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might have hindered him a little bit because he lost ability to, I guess, I don't know if license was the right thing he was trying to do, but I think there was just some business issues with it because they used to have like 2 or 3 locations, and then they eventually went down to 1, and then that one shut down, unfortunately. But yes, Capogiro was amazing gelato.
Oh, so good.
Amazing. So, we have any other things we need to announce? Any other new business to discuss?
New business is I am not going to get 6 days or 5 days a week schedule approved, probably ever. At this point, it's been almost 3.5. Well, it's been 3 full months, and the hospital board will not sign the contract, so I'm essentially on 6 days a week until further notice.
Oof.
Which really sucks. So I guess the question for me now is to decide if I'm just going to bite the bullet and devote what little time I get on Saturdays to nerd shit, or if I'm only going to be able to do Sunday stuff now. But I'll figure it out.
Yes.
Well, we can talk about it later.
We will figure it out. We will figure it out.
I need to buy my plane ticket for PAX. I need to
Yes.
remember to do that.
Because it is 2 months away.
Yeah, I also need to adjust some PTO, see if I can get...
Just take it. Just take it. It's mine. I'm taking it. You
well,
can't have it. It's mine.
I want to ask for like 15 days off instead of just for PAX.
Oh, wow. Just take like a whole like...
Just like take Thanksgiving all the way through PAX.
Oh, that would be beautiful. Yeah, I could see
that would be
working out.
fantastic.
And you're enforcing this year, correct?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And you're going to be down in the pit?
I want to be in the RPG. I don't know if I'm going to be in the pit this year. I like it down there.
What do you call in the pit? Is that the RPG room?
The bottom floor
No,
of the convention.
the bottom floor it has like an enormous amount of conference rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think RPG grew again
It wouldn't surprise me.
this coming PAX because lines were easy to manage, but like there's so many people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people coming through that line. I mean, we had a packed line every single day.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was good. Roll Initiative runs a hell of a event down there. I've always heard good things. You know,
Well, that's good.
a lot of my live play experience or my Adventure League and Pathfinder Society and Starfinder Society experiences have been awful, but that's kind of that's a personal thing. But they run a good show.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
I recommend them if you are looking to try Adventure League.
Well, I hope we see a lot of people at PAX Unplugged. I know we're going to see T-Max will be there, but I hope some of the folks that watch us will be able to make it to PAX Unplugged, and we'll be able to see you there and hang out and eat good things and play games and all the fun stuff.
There will be many eatings and playings.
Yes.
There will be eatings and there will be playings and there will be drinkings.
Yes, all of the things. All of the things. Alrighty. Raz, anything?
No.
Okay.
I got nothing. Eat your greens.
Eat your greens.
Eat your greens. It's even
Hydrate.
important.
Eat your greens. Hydrate. Don't be a dick.
Hydrate.
Right? All these things. We will be back next week. Next week with an all new episode of Team X
With full cast.
with full cast. Maybe fully casted. We don't know. You don't know. Anyway, we will see you guys on the interwebs. Have a great time. Be good to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.